Welcome to the Solution Podcast, guys. Today we are going to be reacting to Fresh and Fit, and we're going to be reacting to a claim that Myron made, which is that women are lazy. So, are women lazy? All right, that's the name of the topic today. excuse me. Yes, are women lazy? So we're going to be delving into this topic, and yeah, what do you guys think? Are women lazy in comparison to men? This is a claim that the red pill often makes, that women are lazy. Um, and yeah, we're going to be exploring that. And let's find out if this is true or not. I think human beings in general are lazy. That's my personal opinion. But yeah, are women lazy? Just waiting for some people to jump in. They're going to be helping me react to this as well. Uh, but yeah, my personal take on this topic: humans are lazy. Why does the red pill call women lazy? I wonder why. I mean, I have my theories. I have my theories from what I've learned about the red pill. I have my theories as to why they would consider women to be lazier than men. Uh, and that's the comparison that they're usually trying to make, is that women are lazier than men. So, are women lazier than men? So we're gonna find out. And on this particular reaction, hey, shouts to KD. What's going on, KD? You all right, bro? Yeah, I sent the link. KD. Feel free. Feel free to chime in and tell me what you think about this. Are women lazy, or are they lazier than men? Who knows, right? Who knows, right? I have my personal opinion, uh, and I'm going to be sharing that with you guys very, very soon. You know, I don't think so. I personally think that human beings are lazy, or are capable of laziness, put it that way. But generally speaking, are women lazier than men? You know, that's what we're going to be discussing today. Well, we're going to be reacting to this. Hold on a second. Let me actually show you the video that we're going to be reacting to. Just bear with me for a moment. Yes, and what's basically happening in this video that we're going to be reacting to? Um, this is a Fresh and Fit episode, and Myron was basically confronted um, by this by one of the guests, and she asked him. She confronted him on this issue, because he starts off by saying that he thinks that women are lazier than men. Women are quite lazy. So, and he was confronted on this issue, and the take that she, I agree with her. I agree with her, and this is what we're going to be exploring. But I agree with her. Yes. Yeah, like I said, human beings are lazy. I don't think women and men can be lazy. Uh, are women lazy? Yes. Are they lazier than men? No. We can both be lazy. So, yeah, that's my take on it. I'm just waiting for someone to come on so that he can help me react to this one. I'm dying to play the video, guys. I'm really dying to play the video. I am. There we go. John Michelle, what's going on, my bro?
Good, bro. You all right?
Yeah, not too bad, bro. Not too bad. And by the way, guys, I know this is the midnight. It's not quite midnight yet. But this is the midnight show, midnight coffee show. But yeah, are women lazy? That is the. What do you reckon, bro? Are women lazy?
Well, have you played the video?
Yeah. What? Shall we?
Yeah, because
Shall
then
we?
we can give then I can give some context as to why I think my views.
let's let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Controversial take. I think women in general are fairly lazy. And what I mean by that is like women don't really like to go into laborious jobs that are taxing. They prefer to work an office job that's nice and air conditioned that pays them 50K a year versus being a construction worker or a power lineman making 100 to $150,000 a year. Oh,
Pardon
you're
me,
shaking
but
your head.
may I say
Disagree with?
something?
Yeah, go
You've
ahead.
said in your prior podcast that women tend to be, or no, we are biologically much more weak.
Yeah.
Well, you really
No,
think
so
we're
can you
gonna
pause
like
it for
do
one
all
minute?
these really difficult jobs?
Do you remember? Do you see the video I sent you earlier on? I sent you a video earlier on, and you,
Um,
you literally can hear Myron saying what she's saying. He's saying,
yes. Shall we start off with that one first?
yeah. Let's show that one.
Let's show that one first. Yeah. Okay. Hold on a second. I'm just gonna load it up. So that would mean that then he's contradicting himself.
Let's see.
Hold on a second. Oh, good. The problems with this red pill philosophy, bro. I'm telling you. It's numerous. Who in their right mind would follow this philosophy? It's just crazy to me. Yeah, yeah, found it, found it. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me start sharing this. Um, yes, KD, what's going on, bro? You all right, bro? We have
I'm
KD.
alright, yeah.
You sound sleepy, bro. What's going on?
No, I just have a runny nose, so my voice sounds a bit different.
Uh, yes, I found it. Let me stop playing that. Um,
We're taller. We have stronger bone density. This is why all the physical labor jobs are male dominated. I don't see any feminists running around complaining, saying there's not enough female Alaskan fishers. You know what I'm saying? Or no, not enough oil drillers, or not enough construction workers. They want to fight for the cushy office jobs that pay high salary, but they don't want to do the hard work that controls that helps operate the infrastructure, right, of Western countries. Electric, power. The power grids, everything else like that is run by men. Architecture, engineering, etc. Right? So men just understand that we have to create value. You know that from the time you're a little boy, that you're going to have to work to be able to get a girl. Hey, you need to get a good job, etc. It's kind of put in your head. A woman, hey, you want to go to school, become successful, fantastic, but you don't have to. Yeah. Men are designed to work harder than women. We're built for it. We're stronger. We're taller. We have stronger bone density. This is why all the physical labor jobs.
I'll just replay it again because we missed that very first part.
Yep.
Yep.
Let's
He
do
said
that.
it,
Yeah, he
right?
said it.
He said
We
it.
could go.
Men
Back,
are
we could go back.
designed.
We could go back to the other video.
Yep. He said it, right? KD, you
Yep.
heard that. Just want to give a shout out to KD. Well, I already did that. Rashid, I've seen the video before. Myron is a fool. Once again, he contradicts himself. Women are not lazy for not doing men's work. Calm down,
Mm.
Rashid, man. Calm down, bro. My God, man. Let us cook, bro. Let us cook. That's
Common
why
sense reigns.
I was holding back in the beginning. I was waiting for John Michelle to jump in because I was dying to start reacting to it already. Uh,
Yeah.
but
So he
shout
said he's saying us in this video. He's making it very clear that men are fitter, stronger, more bone density, which is why we're naturally equipped to do very intensive work that involves a lot of physical exertion. So he's already made that. statement
Hold on a
clear.
second, bro. Hold that thought, brother. Hold on that thought. Just want to also give a shout out to Mark Smith. What's popping, Kazi? What's popping, bro? You're right, yeah. Good to see you in the chat. What is that, Hassan? Hassan, stop playing around, bro. Jump in. Feminism, men are evil. Feminism, men are evil. / red pill, women are evil. Okay, this guy. All right. Okay. KD, sorry, but before you start breaking it down, KD, what do you think of that video? Do you agree with Myron in that video? Because I actually agree with him on that video.
Can you play the video again, just so I can see it?
Absolutely, 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 absolutely.
Men are designed to work harder than women. We're built for it. We're stronger. We're taller. We have stronger bone density. This is why all the physical labor jobs are male dominated. I don't see any feminists running around complaining, saying there's not enough female Alaskan fishers. You know what I'm saying? Or no, not enough oil drillers, or not enough construction workers. They want to fight for the cushy office jobs that pay high salary, but they don't want to do the hard work that controls that helps operate the infrastructure, right, of Western countries. You know, electric, power. You know, the power grids, everything else like that is run by men. Architecture, engineering, etc. Right? So men just understand that we have to create value. You know that from the time you're a little boy, that you're going to have to work to be able to get a girl. Hey, you need to get a good job, etc. It's kind of put in your head. A woman, hey, you want to go to school, become successful? Fantastic. But you don't have to. Men are designed to work harder than women.
I think you have to go back.
Huh?
I think you have to go back to the beginning if you want to replay what he said. What he said again, you have to go back to the beginning.
Yeah. Just to.
We're built for it. We're stronger. We're taller. We have stronger bone density. This is why all the physical labor.
This is just before men are designed, right? KD, what do you think, bro?
I think he's right and wrong at the same time.
Easy.
Because lazy isn't the correct term in my opinion. I think because if males and females were given the choice to work hard, I think the females would choose the easy route, like they've always done. But it doesn't mean that that you should classify them as lazy. It just means that the men are just going to be more hardworking, because the men are, like he said, are taller, stronger, and physically, biologically, bigger and better than the females. But I wouldn't say that they're lazy because they chose the easy path. In fact, we should celebrate that because they're not. Why should they do the hard work? So that's my point.
All right. Yes, John Michelle. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I agree with what Katie just said. If we're saying that we're designed, men are physically more equipped to be able to work certain jobs, and women are literally less physically able. The fact that they naturally gravitate to work that doesn't involve that kind of physical labor is nothing to do with them being lazy. They're literally adapting to a working environment that is more suited to them, and that's there's no laziness involved in it.
Would you say that?
Because by that same logic, men that are unable to exert the same type of physical exertion, they would also be seen to be as lazy. Also, would they also be lazy?
Exactly. So it begs the question: are men born with value? Because can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It begs the question: are men born with value? If men are, and I agree with you guys, he started off by saying that men are designed, all right, designed for a specific purpose. When you're designed for a specific purpose, for a specific reason. So I would have to ask, because usually we hear from the red pill that women are born with value and men must create their value. But he used the terminology design, which implies that men are born for a certain purpose. That means men are born with value because they can do something that a woman can't. And usually, when they talk about a woman has value, what they're talking about, a woman has something that the man doesn't have. So, for example, a woman is more likely to be approached by loads of men. Okay, if a woman wanted to, she could go around have sex with loads of men. You know, like all day, you name it, right? She could do that consistently. So, are men born with value? 'Cause before we start reacting to the next video, that I actually want that this question answered. Are men born with value? Because the red pill says they are not born with value.
So, from my understanding, they are referring to the sexual marketplace. So they're suggesting that women are inherently more valuable because just their looks alone can give them certain privileges and benefits that men don't get. So, for example, just the fact that a woman is pretty, she can get privy to certain. Like, for example, they use a lot of them use the example of the girl on the Millionaire's Vault. Just from the fact that she's good looking, an 18-year-old girl, just because she's good looking, she hasn't actually achieved anything in her life, but just based on her looks alone, she can get access to that environment. Whereas a man of the same age, he would have to earn his way on that boat, meaning he'd have to be a man of means and of status um, to earn that same privilege, I guess you can call it. So I think they use that to suggest that men are born with less value. And in that circumstance, I understand their point. However, if we're talking about just generally speaking, just in terms of as a human being, of course, men are born with value.
What do you reckon, KD?
I think you know what Rashid said in the comments. I think that's very, very correct. He said if they believe that they're equipped to do the hard work but choose not to do it, in a sense they're lazy, and I agree with that. I think that's what he was trying to say, actually, Myron. I don't know.
If women believe that they are equipped to do the hard job but choose not to do it, in a sense, they lazy. No, I was asking in regards to value. Do you think that men are born with value?
In terms of human value, yes, but in terms of like societal value, no, because you have to prove you have to work on your value if you want to be valued in society as a man.
You said we have to work in your value, which
You
that
have to
would
work on your yeah. You have to build up your value. Yeah.
okay. I would argue that a man is born with value, and it's because he's born with value that he's able to build value or to have value or
Yeah,
to
human value.
no, not human value, to create. For example, I'm born stronger than a woman, so I can do a job that a woman can't do and get paid more for it. So because I'm born in that way, because I'm stronger than a woman naturally. I didn't ask for it. I'm just born like this. Then I'm born with value, just like a woman is born with value as well. So I would argue, I would say, if a man, of course, chooses not to act on that value, for example, let's say I choose not to use my what I'm born with to be successful, okay, so that I can be more attractive in the dating market, then that means I've wasted my value. Okay, and the same goes for a woman. If a woman chooses to exploit her sexuality, uh, then she has wasted her value. So there are the same consequences. There are similar consequences for both men and women. So, for example, a woman that has exploited herself sexually online and so on, she's less likely to be married. If she's less likely to have men take her serious and so on and so forth. So in a sense, she threw away her value. It's the same applies to men who decide not to work hard in life, decide to be lazy and so on and so forth. Those men there have also thrown away their value, because we know that a man can earn a bit of money, and and get himself a decent woman. So I believe that both are born with value. In terms of the this laziness topic, are women lazy? No. Um, why? Because women should be doing the jobs that men do. They're not designed for it, and I think it applies to the value as well. We can react to that video now. I think it's the same thing. Hold on a second, guys.
Controversial take. I think women in general are fairly lazy, and what I mean by that is like women don't really like to go into laborious jobs that are taxing. They prefer to work an office job that's nice and air conditioned that pays them 50K a year versus being a construction worker or a power lineman making 100 to 150,000 dollars a year.
Pardon
You're
me,
shaking your
but
head.
may I say
Disagree.
something?
Yeah, go
You've
ahead.
said in your prior podcast that women tend to be, or no, we are biologically much more weak.
Yeah,
Well, you really think we're gonna like do all these really difficult jobs? We're gonna do something that fits what we can do physically, emotionally.
of course. That's why women are lazier when it comes to working more laborious jobs, like
It's
from a
not
physical
lazy
capacity.
though. It's not. It's something you probably just can't achieve. It also depends on the woman, right? If you're a bodybuilder, to an extent, you could. Well, not a bodybuilder. Consistently at the gym, you could be a construction worker. No, you can't
They
be.
absolutely could get the job, and they'd have a higher likelihood of getting the job too.
He's moving the goalpost, and because he knows he. Oh my days, man! He knows what she's saying is absolutely valid. He knows he's wrong, and he's moving the goalpost. That's what's happening here. She basically made a point and exposed him, and he doesn't want to accept it. He really doesn't want to accept it. Oh my days, man! Do you see what I'm seeing, John Michelle? Katie, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. I have nothing to say at the moment.
She
Hmm?
snookered him. That's what happened. She
Yeah,
literally
look at his
snookered him.
facial expression. Just look at his
Yeah, she
facial
snookered him
expression.
because you can't. As I said, in one hand, you can't literally suggest that men are physically more equipped to do these jobs, and then use. But this highlights what I've been saying. This whole pejorative language that's used with regards to women, and it's not like I'm trying to be a woman defender or try. It's just like this is what we're seeing. Like there's this constant use of pejorative language unnecessarily. I'm telling you, as I said to you, always this undercurrent of misogyny going on with this guy and with some of these topics, because there's no to use the word lazy, to go out of your way to use a pejorative term to literally explain the fact that women are physically unable or ill-equipped, are much more ill-equipped than men to do very physically strenuous jobs. To use the term lazy to explain it is you going out of your way to undermine women just for the sake of it. And when it's highlighted to you, what this woman has done very articulately, that this is your language I'm using back on yourself. The fact that he won't actually say, actually, yeah, maybe lazy is not the right word. He can say that. He can literally turn around and say, okay, maybe let's not use the word lazy.
And he
He has the
doesn't.
opportunity to do that. The fact
Yeah.
that he wants to stick to his guns means that there's an undercurrent there of yeah, something quite sinister, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. Carry on, guys. Carry on. Carry on.
Yeah, maybe continue the video.
It's just that they choose not to,
I mean,
so therefore they're lazy.
okay, but like that doesn't, you know, people don't have to have a certain job to call them lazy. You know, like how many men do you see as hairstylists? How many men do you see as nurses? Does that make them lazy in that regard?
Well, they work harder jobs physically.
Who says?
Men do.
Who says?
It's just a fact. If you look at any type of infrastructure job where things are being built, it's dominated by men and not women.
Yeah, but like I said, the point is, like, sometimes because of our biological status, we cannot complete these activities that men do with much more ease. So why are we going to break our
But they
butt?
still can't do it.
We can, but there's a lot of women that do it, but the majority stick to what they can do.
Yeah,
So
which
I
is what
don't
I'm trying to say is that
understand.
women in general tend to be lazier than men.
Sorry,
Okay,
guys.
They
I'm
work
just
in
gonna, I'm
laborious
just gonna
that's
jobs.
not the
rewind it
word
one
you
more
should
time.
use
Yeah.
for it.
Oh,
It's
what word
not
should I use then?
I'm just gonna
on a ease.
rewind it one more
So
time.
why are we going to break our
But they still
butt?
can't do it.
Because of our biological status, we
Right.
cannot complete these activities that men do with much more ease. So why are we going to break our
But they still
butt?
can't do it.
We can, but there's a
It
lot of
doesn't
women
mean that
that
they're
do
lazy.
it.
That's
But
the
the
point.
okay, but like that doesn't, people don't have to have a certain job to call them lazy. You know, like how many men do you see as hairstylists? How many men do you see as nurses? Does that make them lazy?
Men are lazier.
Sorry, I
when it comes
missed
to
it. I
working
missed
more
it.
laborious jobs.
It's
And
not
there's a
lazy
problem here,
though.
though.
It's not.
Huh?
The reason why it's interesting that she used the profession of nurse, because that's actually quite interesting profession that she's pulled up. One thing you could never accuse a nurse of is being lazy. Like nurses literally work the most
Yeah.
unsociable hours. They do 13, sometimes 14-hour shift with
Yes.
half an hour for lunch.
Yes.
And I know nurses who have that regime. They work nights sometimes, and think of what they're dealing with, non-stop on their feet, dealing with sick people. I can guarantee you now, there's many men that would not be psychologically equipped to do that role. Are those men lazy then? Or let's say this: men are psychologically weak because they can't be nurses. Let's see how that lands saying that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So if
Yeah.
you want to throw dirt around, because if you want to throw pejorative terms around for people who literally are more inclined to do one type of work than the other, then I guess it could work both ways, then, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, of course, of course, of course. But exactly, but like you said, it's pejorative term, isn't it? But the thing is, it's just the fact that Myron can't accept that he's wrong. This
Yeah.
is what I'm worried about. He can't accept that he's wrong. She made a valid observation. Women are weaker than men, so how can you expect women to do the very same jobs that men can, since we are biologically different? Like you said earlier, John Michelle, it would have been amazing if he just showed some humility and said, you know what, you're actually right. Yes, we can't accept women to do the very same jobs that men do because biologically they're different. And this is the point that a few shows ago I was trying to highlight. We can only put out what we are biologically designed to do. That's it. You can't expect one to. I think what show was it? I think it was the show. What women offer outside of the women offer nothing outside of sex, or sex is the only thing that they can offer. And uh, I think it was that show. But basically, what we were talking about was, women are designed to only do certain things, and men are designed to only do certain things, and that's it. That's it. She's making a valid observation, and instead of him being, how do I say this, a little bit more humble. Like, instead of him humbling himself, he doesn't. He wants to carry on challenging her because he doesn't want to lose face in front of his audience. I mean, that's exactly what I'm seeing here. Hold on a second, because I think I rewind it too far back.
It's something you probably just can't achieve. You know, it also depends on the woman, right? If you're emotionally,
Of course. That's why women are lazier when it comes to working more laborious jobs. Like,
it's
from a
not
physical
lazy
capacity.
though. It's not. It's something you probably just can't achieve. You know, it also depends on the woman, right? If you're a bodybuilder, to an extent, you could. Well, not a bodybuilder. Consistently at the gym, you could be a construction worker. No, you can't
They
be.
absolutely could get the job, and they'd have a higher likelihood of getting the job too. It's just that they choose.
Yeah, but she's not talking about that. This is the part where I was saying that he's moving the goalposts. She's not talking about getting the job. Of course,
of getting the job. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. He's trying to move the goalpost because he knows it's wrong. So he knows she caught him. He's trying to move the goalpost. Yes, due to feminism, women are being hired to, they want women in all of these positions. It's just that women are not going into it. And the reason why they are not going into it is because they are not biologically built for it. That's the reason why they are not going into it. But him, instead of what he's trying to do now is move the goalpost and talking about being women are choosing not to go into these positions. Of course, but he's moving the goalpost.
Choose not to.
I mean,
So therefore, they're lazy.
okay, but like that doesn't, people don't have to have a certain job to call them lazy. Like, how many men do you see as hairstylists? How many men do you see as nurses? Does that make them lazy in that regard?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they work harder jobs physically.
Who says?
Men do.
Who says?
It's just a fact. If you look at any type of infrastructure job where things are being built, it's dominated by men and not women.
Yeah, but like I said, the point is, like, sometimes because of our biological status, we cannot complete these activities that men do with much more ease. So why are we going to break our
But they
butt?
still can't do it.
We can, but there's a lot of women that do it, but the majority stick to what they can do.
Yeah.
So
which
I
is what
don't
I'm trying to say is that
understand.
women in general tend to be lazier than men when it
But
comes to working
that's
with.
Katie,
He's just
what
being
do you think?
antagonistic. He's just
Katie,
being
what do you-
antagonistic now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's just being
Katie, what do you
antagonistic.
think of this?
Can you play the last 30 seconds?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you guys support the red pill, innit? So that's why.
they can do.
Yeah.
So
Which
I
is what
don't
I'm trying to say is that
understand.
women in general tend to be lazier than men when it
But
comes to working laborious jobs.
that's not the word you should
Sorry,
use.
Katie.
We cannot complete these activities that men do with much more ease. So why are we going to break our
But they still
butt?
can't do it.
We can, but there's a lot of women that do it, but the majority stick to what they can do.
Yeah.
So
Which
I
is what
don't
I'm trying to say is that
understand.
women in general tend to be lazier than men when it
But
comes to working laborious jobs.
that's not the word you should use for it.
Oh,
It's
what
not.
word should I use then?
He just said they can't do it. He literally just said himself they can't do it. So
What
if
do you
you
reckon,
can't do
Katie?
something, how does that automatically make you lazy?
Oh my God,
Stupid guy.
yo,
He literally
Katie,
broke his own argument.
expand on this, bro.
Yeah, lazy is the wrong term to use, but I understand why he's saying it. He's just trying to be more direct and harsh. But lazy is the wrong term because they can't do it. Most of them, 99% of females could never do those types of jobs that he's describing. So I don't know. He's just being extreme, I guess.
But
Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
would you call that extreme or disingenuous? Because he's literally contradicting himself. But the thing is, he keeps going on about the word lazy. He keeps calling him lazy. He won't turn around and concede that he's wrong. He just keeps lazy. It's like the hell. I don't get it.
Well, let's say if all these ladies wanted to, work like a man and do the man's job, and then they come and sign up for it, and then they tell them, "Oh, you gotta do this and that," and then they back out of it in the last moment, then technically they are lazy. So I think that's his point.
I
I
know
don't.
that's
I'm not. I know. I'm not. I don't know for sure though.
I know that's his. Okay, I understand that that's his point, but his point is incorrect because if a woman is unable to do a job because of her biology, it doesn't mean that she's lazy. It means that biologically she's unable. She's unable to do that job.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So,
But
so even if she signs up for the position, and then through her testing or trials or induction period, she physically can't meet the requirements because she's physically not strong enough, and she has to pull out. That doesn't make her lazy either.
I think it does, especially if you
How? Because
campaign
she
for
physically can't.
equality and being a man, doing a man's job.
It might make her delusional, maybe, but not lazy. You see what I mean?
No, I
She
think
may
it
be
is
she may be
because
delusional because she physically can't complete the tasks. So how are you
okay,
lazy
maybe
then?
not. Okay,
Yeah,
maybe not lazy. I think that's a
yeah,
wrong term to use.
yeah.
But
Maybe
just based,
delusional,
I would just say
maybe.
stupid. Yeah.
So why
Yeah,
why can't he just say, okay, lazy is the wrong term to use. I
cause
shouldn't.
some men are arrogant. Some men make mistakes, isn't
There
he?
you
He
go.
doesn't want to apologize for this.
Yeah,
He's using the wrong terms here, I think.
Yeah,
But
he
he's
is.
also, but I think he's also trying to describe that what I just said. Like, if they back out of it in the last moment because it's too hard, and they campaigned and they wanted to be in there, then that's what he's trying to say. He's trying to say, "Oh yeah, you're lazy then because you campaigned to do a man's job, but then you backed out in the last second."
But
yeah,
I don't think he
but
is
she
because he's
corrected.
actually saying they're not even interested in it. So I don't think that's. I think he's actually talking about. He's using the fact that they're not interested in it in the first place as a sign of them being lazy. Not even
Exactly.
that they may be interested in it and they can't do it. He's saying that the fact that they're not interested in it means that they're not lazy.
But she
Well,
even
because they would always choose the easy route.
yeah,
So
No, well
yeah,
they choose jobs that are more suited to their physical structure.
but she even
yeah, the easy route.
she corrected him right at the
Well, it's
beginning.
not
She said,
easy. It's not the easy route. It's the one that's like it's not the easy route because but if when you use terms like easy route, you're saying that you're suggesting they have a choice to go with the harder route. But if they physically cannot do the
Of course
harder
they have
route,
a choice.
they don't because they can't do it. They can't do the other. The alternative
No,
is
in this day and
they
age,
can't
they
do it.
have every choice in the world. Look at the
No,
Scandinavian
if you,
countries.
no. This is what I'm saying. If in the job market there's all types of jobs in the job market. Some of the jobs women cannot do because of their physical makeup. So they choose jobs that they can do. That's not them choosing the easy way. Because the other way is something they physically have got a barrier, there's a barrier there where they physically cannot do it. That means they're choosing jobs that are more suited to what they physically can do. Doesn't mean that they're choosing jobs that are easier for them because they don't have a choice.
and the Scandinavian countries that you mentioned, um, the the um, the results are even more pronounced because what's happening there is because the Scandinavian countries are the most egalitarian countries in the world, and there women more than ever don't want to do the harder jobs.
Yeah.
They are literally pushing these women to do these jobs, and they don't want to do them. They going towards what do you call it? You know, humanitarian type of jobs rather than you know the
Yeah,
jobs that men
laborious,
are, yeah, laborious
physically
type.
strenuous jobs.
Exactly.
They
So yeah,
self-taught themselves. Yeah,
so
laziness is not doesn't come into it, or easy does not come into it. Uh, it just doesn't come into it because if you're literally following a job path because the other ones are barriers to you, there's a barrier there. That doesn't mean you're taking the easier path. You're taking the path that's more suited to what you can do.
Myron just joined us, everyone.
All right.
This guy. But what amazes me, what amazes me, shouts to you, Hassan. What amazes me about this whole thing is that right in the beginning, she makes it clear that a woman is biologically unable to do these type of jobs, and due to her biology. And instead of him just saying, "Okay, all right, I understand what you're saying. It makes sense," he won't back down. He just won't back down. He will not
Well,
change his mind. And thing is, right, is being arrogant, but being
I'll
he's
tell you
being
why.
disingenuous. I don't
The
think it's
reason why
arrogant.
he won't, the reason why he won't back down is for a few reasons. Number one, the platform. What the platform pushes. The platform pushes a men up, holes down ethos.
Yeah,
Uh, so that's the ethos that the whole thing. Women are literally on that show for one reason only: to be made examples of. That's their purpose on the show: to show all the men in the world these are the women, and this is how stupid they are and how delusional they are. This is the purpose of the post of the show. Sorry, of the whole show. That's the purpose. So the idea of a woman getting a one up, being one up in terms of intellectually one up on him, he cannot let that fly because then that destroys the whole ethos of the show. Because women are not supposed to be smarter than men in any way, shape, or form, or have relevant opinions, or be able to coherently challenge a man because they're all three or fours.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and she's
Can I
choosing.
can I
Go ahead,
can I
Hassan.
can I steal Myron's argument?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I've sent it. I put it into the chat. I'm giving more detail. It's not like-
Hassan, we can't hear you.
Can you can you not hear me? Hello.
Line is bad. Better.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Sorry, but so you can hear me now. So,
It's a bit
Yeah,
crackly.
yeah.
oh. Okay, so yeah, I just want to steal my argument. I sent it into the chat, and it gives a bit more detail.
Should I play it?
Yeah, yeah, it gives better detail.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second, guys. Hold on a second. So this is not the first time he's been this guy, bro.
Resources, right? Women are here to create children, not create excess resources. The man's job is to create excess resources for a family. That's why when a man makes money, he says, oh wow, this is awesome, like a family can be dependent upon me. That's why we go out and build and create the beautiful world that we have now. Women, on the other hand, when they make money, what do they say? I'm independent of who? A man. They don't want to create excess resources. They do it because they have to a lot of the times. And if you look at every metric, men dominate all the work fields that make the most money, that are hard labor, that are difficult to do, that are based in science, engineering, technology, and math, whereas women dominate all the fields that are more human, like people to people type contact stuff, like sociology, hairdresser, etc. A lot of useless jobs, to be honest. They don't create the infrastructure of the world. Controversial take. Women are inherently
Pause.
lazy. Talk about this.
Pause.
Look where she start. Well,
So,
where he
so,
starts
oh,
off.
so according to him,
Yeah.
the social services are useless jobs. So I guess what I do is useless. I guess. What a ridiculous statement to make. What an ignorant. What an ignorant. What an ignorant fool he is.
and
What an ignorant fool he
and
is.
police officers, they're all people to people, right?
Hassan, your connection
Exactly.
is really bad. It's really poor.
Oh,
Um, we want to hear you out, bro. But look at how he starts off the video. Look how the video starts off. Women are inherently lazy. Inherently lazy.
As I said, the guy is a misogynist. Let's just call it what it is. And I don't like to use that term loosely. But when you equate every single endeavor a woman does in the workforce as useless. So, for example, nursing, very dominated by women. In his words, useless job. Caregivers in care homes, women that literally take care of people that are dying, old people with mums and dads who are sick, grandparents who are sick. In his job, in his world, useless. Many women are teachers to preschoolers. In his world, a useless job. Many women are involved in the social services, taking care of children who are abused, children who are in care, families are at risk with children in need, people with disabilities. In his world, these are useless jobs. The guy is an idiot. That's what he is.
Yeah. But
you guys hear
this yo, can you hear me? Hassan.
me? Is it still
Hassan, your connection is still really awful, bro.
okay? I'll go out, come back.
Basically, you keep cutting out. You keep cutting out, so we can't actually hear you properly. Yeah. As I was saying, and this is the problem with this is the narrative, and I don't believe that Myron doesn't know what he's saying. I don't believe that Myron isn't aware that he's saying something contradictory or wrong. I don't believe that at all. I think he has the intelligence, the faculties to know what he's talking about. So that's why I have to agree with you, John Michelle, when you said this is misogynistic, because the reason why I have to agree with you on that is because when we were listening to the other video, when we're watching the other video, reacting to the other video, she literally told him she told him in a way that he would have understood immediately. We are weaker than you, biologically weaker than you. So how can you expect us to do jobs that only men can do? Like, how can you expect that? So she literally debunked his theory that women are lazier than men. And instead of him admitting it, he doesn't admit it. It doesn't admit to it. And now watching this video, he starts off with women are inherently lazier than men. it's crazy to me, seriously. And red pill,
any type of finish. You finish.
And the red pill, its audience will listen to him and think that he's actually making sense.
I just had a look.
With a lot of isms.
Clearly now.
Yeah,
that's much better. That's much better, Hassan. Much better.
I appreciate it. I just went through a quick list of jobs that are female dominated in 2022. So it's healthcare services, education, government and public services. What is it? Administration, real estate, professionals. So it's kind of weird that
but to him, they're all useless jobs, Myron. They're all useless. To Myron, every job that a woman are seen to have
dominated.
Well, I won't even say dominated, where they seem to have a presence in, let's say, a higher presence in, maybe slightly higher than men, or just a high presence anyway. It could be the same as men. In his world, they're all useless. Yeah, significant. In his world, all those roles are useless. And this is what's so ridiculous about it, because, for example, what use is someone out there mining the field, drilling oil, when they don't get paid? How do they get paid? Through administrative work, through HR. If you don't have people doing that, those men don't get paid. So to say that they're somehow like these jobs are just nothing jobs, you literally need both elements of the job for a successful company. You need the staff in the office. Without the staff in the office, and you need the education, and you need the bureaucracy. Like,
yeah, but they would argue.
But this is what I'm saying. The point I was going to make is that
they would argue that
men could do it too.
They would argue that men can do those jobs.
But this is the thing, though. These are. I'll send you the link. These are female, like it's at least 45% in most cases. And the reason I say that is it's either the jobs are useless, or the jobs are useful. So the argument doesn't stand. So women are useless because they don't do these jobs. But if they do these jobs that are useful, then that means women are useful, but the jobs are useless.
See how stupid it sounds when you put it that way? That sounds ridiculous. So the poster is useless, is what he's saying, I guess.
Yeah, but
the point is like as I said, I was going to say,
it doesn't stand water.
Isms, when you're dealing with isms, whether racism, sexism examples, when someone has that as an underpinning their argument, they don't see logic. They can't see argument countering it, because they're blinded by their own prejudices and biased. And that's what we're seeing here. Myron has this issue with sexism and bias towards women. So that's why he makes these outlandish statements. Also, he makes them because he knows there's an audience for it also. Because you've got a lot of incel men out here that can't get women, and they project their issues with women, the fact that they fail to be able to attract women, they project that, they deflect away from that, and they project that onto the same women that they can't get. So then they become haters of women. He knows that. So this stupid rhetoric he's coming with, he literally knows that there's an audience for it. That's why this is a very sinister movement, in my opinion.
It grows. It harms the people listening to it the most because it reconfirms their bias.
Right.
I have more of a conspiracy take on this, and I believe it's founded on logic. And what I'm basically saying is that I don't take Myron for a stupid person. He knows what he says. He's is able to articulate himself. He's got a good grasp of the English language. Yeah, like I said before, he's able to articulate himself very well and understand concepts. So he's not a stupid person. He knew, I could see through his facial expression, the reaction that we were reacting to before. I could see through his facial expression that he realized he was wrong. All right. I personally believe I've got more of the reason why I say I've got more of a conspiracy take on it is because I truly believe that the red pill is a feminist movement for men, and all this buys into all this. What he's basically saying there goes with the feminist narrative, which is basically feminism for women is hatred for men, and feminism for men, and red pill is basically hatred for women. Um, it goes hand in hand, both of them. It does, and I think Myron. I'm actually going to go as far as calling him an agent. I think he's an agent, and the reason why I call him an agent is because he's an intelligent guy. He's not stupid. He knows what he's doing. He knows when he's wrong. He knows when he knows. So he didn't make a mistake there. He's pushing an agenda. And yeah, that's my take on Myron. There's no way I'm gonna believe that this guy doesn't know. He didn't know that he's wrong. When that woman checked him and said, "We are biologically weaker. How can you expect us to do the same jobs that men do?" I don't believe that Myron did not know that he was wrong. Like, I don't believe that. He knew he was wrong, but he couldn't take it. He had to keep pushing the narrative. He had to keep pushing the agenda. And I didn't see too many people reacting to this. I think we one of the few that have reacted to this, but people should have reacted to it because she basically caught him.
But as I said, his audience won't see it how we see it because they're blinded by the same misogyny he's blinded with. You see, he's
Yeah,
preaching to the converted. You know, and
yeah,
because they're
yeah.
not part of his audience, we can see through the crap. But if you're blinded by misogyny because of your own inadequacies, which is what a lot of these guys are, his followers are men like that. Men
Uh,
blinded by their own inadequacies with
let's
regards to
just
women that they project
let's
and
just call them
account
for what
for.
they are, bro.
They're not
Let's
going
just
to. They will do cognitive dissonance for cognitive dissonance for setting.
they incels, bro. Let's just call them for what they are. There's an incel epidemic over here. Men who lust after these women,
You stood it.
okay, and not. Sorry, can you hear me?
You coming?
Can you hear me, bro?
I told you they're lustful insults. You know my word.
Yeah. Exactly, exactly. Uh, but yeah, to me, they're lustful incels, men who lust after women,
Yeah,
but don't necessarily
yeah.
act upon the act itself. They just as bad. Men who lust after women and don't get the sex, they just as bad as the men who are getting the sex or are sleeping around or have access to a lot of sex. They just as bad as each other. But yeah, let's continue with the reaction. Let's see what happens.
Hmm. Unavailable, less capable to an extent. You know, we're all capable. They can do.
Yeah.
So
Which
I
is what
don't
I'm trying to say is that
understand.
women in
Well, I would
general are
say they're
tend to
worse.
these when it
But
comes to working with
Colin,
boys
I would
that's
jobs.
not
say
the
they're
word
worse.
you
Let me
should
tell you
use.
why I say they're worse.
Sorry, bro. Is that like? Can you hear me?
Yeah, he's cutting out.
It's cutting out.
Nelson.
Yo, can you guys hear me or not?
We can hear you. JM cut out a bit.
Yeah, JM cut out a bit. Yeah.
The Matrix is getting us, man. Again.
No. They can't do this. Not to this reaction, man. Not to
Well,
this.
we're striking the red heart of the red pill, and do you think there will be no consequences?
JM, can you hear me?
Hey,
John Michelle, you're cutting out. John Michelle, you're cutting out, bro.
yeah, I can hear you, bro. Clearly.
You can hear me clearly, yeah? Yeah, we can hear you now because you was cutting out. You was cutting out.
Oh, I don't know why, bro. You can't hear me?
Yeah, I
Can
can
you
hear
hear
you.
me?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Hello.
Hello,
You might have to go out and come back in. That's what I did.
John Michelle.
I don't know
Go
why,
out
bro.
and come back in again.
I'm here.
Can you hear me?
It's a real delay.
So he can't hear us, right? Yeah, that's what's going on. Yes,
Yeah,
Hassan.
I can hear you. Octave. You can hear me, right?
Yeah. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, Hassan. So
So yeah,
what'd you make of this, bro?
uh, I guess it's just I don't know. It's not something I would have thought of. Women are lazy. I don't know where that comes from.
It comes from the red pill philosophy
Yeah, I
that
don't get it.
women are inferior, they're lazier, and so on. And what I'm basically saying is, look, this is just biology. You can't expect a woman to be,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
it goes back to the gold digger thing because he said women don't produce their
that's it.
offspring. Yeah,
Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes.
I get it. I get it.
It goes back to the gold digger.
Yeah.
That was the show I was thinking of. Yeah, it was the gold digger one. Yeah. Because I actually mentioned it. I tried to compare it to that. How can you expect a woman to produce? You know, if they're weaker than men,
Mhm.
how can you expect them to produce the same as men? Hold on,
But it all
Jonas.
goes back to the same logic that women are basically parasites.
Yeah. That's exactly what we are dismantling here today. It all goes back to the same logic that women are inferior to men, that women are less than, which is slavery. Basically, it's turning women into slaves. Yes, John Michelle, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
John
we can
Michelle,
hear you.
we just made an important observation. Looking at the Gold Diggers episode that we did, looking at what do women offer outside of sex, looking at this episode here, and what me and Hassan kind of concluded here. It all goes back to this idea that women are inferior, that are inferior to men, and basically subhumans and slaves.
Yeah.
When you look at
What's
all
happened
those episodes,
is the movement has changed because I always go back to Kevin Samuels as the standard for what I believe was a good movement. What he did, he highlighted the behavior of some women. So he didn't generalize. He would talk about and highlight the behavior of some women and how meant to
Mhm.
mitigate those behaviors. He never started to make these outlandish claims about the inherent failures of women, inherently lazy, for example, or inherently gold diggers, or inherently less valuable, and this type of stuff. Um, so he, this is where it's interesting now what happens to movements, how they become more radical. And I reckon in this case, it's become more radical because the men that it initially um, was appealing to have got what they needed from it and moved on with their lives. Whereas these are the men that
Sorry,
are now
what's that
supporting the
noise in
red.
the background? There's some noise in the background.
Not me.
Is that you, Hassan?
No.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah. Can you hear it or is it gone?
Yeah, it's gone now. I think it was KD.
So there was it. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah. So what's happened now is that the men that it's attracting now, these are not men that are going to move on, if you see what I mean. These are men that will probably be perpetually in this state of um inadequacy with regards to women. And unfortunately, there are some men that will live their whole lives being inadequate to women or not really women's first choices, second or third. Unfortunately, this is the nature of life that some men are just not going to be that guy. And this seems to be the new audience. So with that new audience, the rhetoric has become much more radical, much more hateful, and that this is why you're seeing now these guys are adapting to it. Guys like Myron are adapting to his audience because he's realized the most outrageous thing he's saying, he's not getting backlash from his audience. He gets a backlash from other people, but he isn't getting people from his own audience saying, hey, hold on, Myron, you might be going a bit too far here. You know what I mean? And because he's not
That's why
getting
we
that,
call
and actually he's probably getting the opposite of that, but people are like, yeah, hey, go on, you say what we want to say. So he's been emboldened by it.
Yeah, that's why
And he'll
that's
start
why
saying worse things.
that's why me and Hassan called it a cult.
Well, I said it joking.
Oh, yeah, I said it seriously. But the thing is, that's why we called it a cult, because when your own people won't check you on it, when your own people won't question you about it, it becomes almost like a cult. It becomes almost like a religion. So that's, I think that you're absolutely right, John Michelle. Yeah, absolutely right, 100%.
I've got a question for you, John Michelle. Since it's becoming more radicalized, how long until one of them blows up a strip club or shoots up a strip club?
Well, listen, how about if one of them just kills a woman?
Oh,
This is what this is what I fear. I don't think it'll be something as crazy as big as what you're saying, like a mass event. How long before someone fooled by this ideology harms a woman? You know, how long would that happen? Because if you start pushing the rhetoric that women are literally not, are your perpetual enemy, all it would take is a man to have one bad experience with a woman, and all that rage will spill out, and he may end up doing harm. It's gonna happen, by the way. It's gonna happen, and what's gonna happen? A man's gonna go out there and do something heinous to a woman, and they're gonna look at his search engine and
Fresh
what
and
he's been, and they're gonna see a whole heap of this stuff, and then you're gonna see it's gonna happen. Just say it happens, when you get these mass shooters and they find out they've been listening to right wing rhetoric and racist Nazi stuff and all that. So yeah, it's gonna happen. There's gonna be an incident where a man does something terrible to a woman, and they're gonna. But we'll probably go for Andrew Tate first before they get. But if they can specifically find videos from these guys will be then front page and center. So it's going to happen, Hassan.
I think society is heading that way already. I think what Fresh and Fit is preaching will become the norm. This is not going to become, something that will go away. I don't think the red pill will go away. I think the red pill is here to stay, and this is how men.
If there's a death that comes from it, it will be checked. It will be go underground, more underground.
I hear what you're saying, but because I believe it's feminism for men, I think this is the intention. I don't think anything that the West promotes is good for family values. It's good for families, good for society, it's good for anything that the West promotes. And we all know which ideologies are pushing what the West promotes. And I think what Red Pill is doing, Red Pill just complements feminism. That's what Red Pill does. It complements feminism. So this look at what feminism has managed to achieve. They have managed uh to basically feminize men. They have managed to turn you know look basically turn women, make women hate men. And this is what the red pill is also achieving with men. They're getting men to hate women. They're getting men to to look at women as the enemy. That's what's happening. But I think that is part of the part of the
Mm.
agenda. It is to destroy
But
that relationship between men and women.
the reason why I agree with you, but the reason why I see there's a little bit of a difference there is because with feminism, these are women that are pushing, this matriarchal type of mindset and you know, basically the whole boss babe mentality or the I'm just as equal as you, but that is all done under whether people believe it or not, a patriarchy. So at some level, it's supported by men because some men benefit from this, by the way, because the gynocentric, they could put it in films and it could generate an income. So at some level, men are still involved in feminism because they benefit from it. And it's almost like a tigerless, a clawless and toothless tiger. They can make a lot of noise and do a lot of stuff, but ultimately, it's not gonna like if men snap their fingers, it stops basically. And the difference with this is that because men are the dominant of the genders, if they start to act on it, it could have real life consequences for women, harmful ones. If they start to adopt this very sexist mindset, it can literally cause harm. Like men could go out and because they're more dominant, they can cause physical harm. So I think
But bro,
I agree with you that
it's actually happening now. Look at this. Okay, let's just look at what's happening when men enter women's sports. When men call themselves women and enter women's sports. What's happening now when women want to box men and so on and so forth? It's actually happening already. So I know what you're saying, that this hatred for men will eventually become deadly for women later down the line. But the thing is, if you look at what feminism has managed to accomplish by, through this idea of equality, they've got to such a it's got to such a point now that a man can call himself a woman and enter a woman's bathroom. A man can go into a woman's sports and dominate it completely, and everyone just looks the other way. A man can call himself a woman and go and box women or go into a
Yeah,
cage
it's
for women.
it's
So,
a good
bro,
point.
it's actually happening now. Like, if you think that's good for women, that's really bad for women because what we as when I don't know if you guys know about, because they've got these guys. I think UFC. I don't know what it is for women, but this guy, I
Yeah.
forgot what his name was. But anyways, he identifies himself as a woman, identifies as a woman or whatever, and he's literally beating up every woman in there. And when I was looking at that, I was thinking, yo, that is crazy, and what Red Pill is managing is has managed to achieve is, it's almost like they're looking the Red Pill is like they're confirming this hatred for women, because I see feminism as hatred for women. That's what feminism really is, because it works against women, and it actually puts men on top, because men are literally dominating every space that used to belong to women. Men are
Okay.
entering
Okay.
these spaces and dominating it.
Just a
So
question.
so Red Pill agrees with all of that. Red Pill agrees with that.
Here's my question in relation to what you just said. So feminism puts men on top because it's counterproductive to women's interests. It's
That's right.
counter. It's counter to women's interests. So does
but
red pill
I'm not sure that's 100% true, actually, if I'm honest, because I
Go
think
ahead, go ahead.
within the dating market, it can actually lead to women having their needs and desires met before the needs and desires of men, if the men are clueless as to what's happening, if you see what I mean. So
I think he
I
might be
understand
suggesting.
overall, yeah,
Yeah,
overall
yeah.
perhaps, but I think that on a lower level, in terms of male and female sexual dynamics, it can cause a disharmony where women actually are have the upper hand.
Yeah, pretty much. It makes the woman an excellent sprinter for a marathon. Really, it makes her very good
Yeah.
at getting to the beating man in the short term. In the long term, she's the one that suffers.
Right.
And I think
Right.
that's what he
Right.
might be suggesting. Is it counters what would benefit her, so it harms her
Yeah.
more than
Long
anything else.
term. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but
And
Long
but the
term.
thing is,
Definitely.
here's my question.
yeah,
Before you
yeah, go
jump in,
ahead.
you said feminism, in a sense, puts the man at less of a disadvantage and the woman more at a disadvantage. So
Hmm.
does the red pill assist the men that can't make the most of the feminist world that's been established already?
So I say that, does the red pill what?
So the dynamic is feminism
Hmm.
benefits men
Yep,
because it more than it does women, because it
yep,
harms the woman more than it does anything else.
yep.
More, and it assists her on surface level, not
Yeah.
anything fundamental to her needs.
It harms us in every level. It harms women in every level.
Well, JM did make a good point of
No,
how,
no, because no, because even that is counterproductive. Because
but
remember,
that's only when you add a factor of time.
no. Women want dominant men. So this illusion, I know what John Michelle is talking about. It's the illusion that women right now are having their needs met, but the truth is this: they're not having their needs met because men have become weaker, right? A woman is not attracted by weak men. She's attracted by dominant masculine men. And when a woman thinks that she is getting her way, she's not really getting her way because she's not really attracted to that. That's why modern day relationships don't work. It don't go nowhere. I mean, it's now gone down to the average relationships last about 3 years. That's how bad things have gotten, because women, even I think the average marriage now is 5 years. But it's like
But also
But,
on
it,
a conscious
but
level,
it,
they are getting the sense of upper handedness, the sense of in a powerful
ego,
position over a man.
ego.
There's a
Yeah,
conscious, yeah. They're definitely getting something out of that from a conscious level.
yeah, they
I
gain
think more
ego.
subconsciously, yeah. So subconsciously, I think perhaps there's the doubts that come in, as Hassan says, over time. But there's no doubt about
time
that. In
is,
the interim, they are getting
yeah,
some benefit,
some,
like
yeah.
psychological benefit.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. I can
Okay,
see that.
okay. So having said that, so feminism benefiting men, suiting men's needs more and harming women's requirements more than it does anything else. And then here's my question: does the red pill step in as what do you call it, a stepping stone or a booster for those men that do not benefit or cannot keep up with this feminist ideal? Do you get what I'm saying?
No,
Yeah, I do get you saying.
Yeah.
the red pill
I,
confirms yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, George.
yeah, I would say no,
Okay.
because what it does, it actually look at the platforms that discuss red pill and look at the women that are around it.
Okay.
The women that are around it are the actual women that potentially can do the most harm to a man. For example, you got Myron on there, a red pillar, who
Yeah.
actually is on sugar daddy websites and
Yeah.
sees that as a perfectly legitimate way to get dates. Now, the average man does that. He's looking for trouble. He's gonna get himself in a situation where he now has to mitigate and find a way to stop his resources getting exploited just for the chance of some brief sexual encounter.
Mm-hmm.
So it literally brings the same women. I keep saying this, the same women that they keep saying that we need to avoid. They engage with the most. These red pill men are the ones that engage with these women more than any other type of male out here.
Mm-hmm.
They engage with them more than anyone else. So potentially, they're men that are engaging in this red pill stuff. They actually are potentially at more
Okay.
in harm's way.
Here's my thing. Here's why I suggest. So these women are in a sense a byproduct of feminism, who exchange their sexual exclusivity for some materialistic or some advantage over men. Right? If we
Right.
establish that as the perception of how feminism produces women. right?
Yes.
As one factor. Now, a man who is what what I would what I might describe as a sociopath can take advantage of these women without exchanging anything in return, right? He gets the most out of the interaction more than she does, right? Because she'll, as her body count goes up, as she gets older, and these are seemingly undeniable realities of life, right? The psychopathic man would be aware and have a more predatory mindset in terms of his interaction with these women.
Right.
Here's what I think. I think the red pill trains men to be more sociopathic.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad you said that. And I tell you, I'm going to add to that too, because what it does, because obviously, if you are if you start going along the sociopathic thinking, they get more benefit in having certain types of people as victims. So the idea of a victim for a sociopathic red pillar wouldn't be just your average woman walking down the street living a very average life. There's no joy in this. There's no joy in having that as a victim. Their ideal victim are the very flamboyant, ego-driven, money-hungry
IQ.
women.
Low IQ.
Yes, that's why Myron takes great joy about bringing those specific women on his show and then demeaning them.
For
There's a
example,
joy there that they get of it.
Name 3 countries, and one of the girls
Yeah,
couldn't.
all
She
that type of
spoke about
stuff.
how
Yeah,
poor education. And it's like, why would you make
right,
fun out of this? But yeah, carry on. Yeah.
right. This is what I'm saying. So this is what you're right in terms of it does it because and remember too. Never forget these are the type of men that if you notice a lot of these red pill guys they don't want women that are actually average because if
And
they
they don't respect
because
the average man.
they don't and because they're groomed now because they're not just these are the type of guys that will be watching OnlyFans even though they say they hate them. They know all the OnlyFans models, they know all the Instagram models, they better name them because they're very much in the online community where you're going to encounter these types of attention-seeking women. So they start to develop a fetish for these women. It's like a love-hate relationship they get with these women,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
and that love-hate relationship is going to lead to their downfall because then the average woman won't excite them enough. You see what I mean? They're not excited. A fetishism, a strange fetishism happens where there's a hatred but a desire for them at the same time. That's why Myron, by the way, that's why Myron goes on a website. He hates those women that are on the I'll give you a perfect example. Myron hates the women that are on Sugar Daddy website because he talks about how disgusting they are and how, but yet he's in the midst of them. And what does he do? He gets great joy out of saying to them, "Oh, they'll contact him and they'll give him their demands. He will say, no, just come to the house. Because what he wants to do is try and get sex from them without paying. So there's a one-up, he's got a sense of one-upmanship there. That's sociopathic. The joy he
Well,
gets is that he's getting women that generally would ask for money not to get it. Whereas he could just go into the real world and just get an average woman who doesn't want money. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying?
I would.
Absolutely. Let me.
He gets through it it's like he's reversing the game on hoes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
he wants to be the. It's almost like he wants to be the hoe, and he wants them to be the pimp, them to be the John. Sorry, he wants to reverse the game on them, and he gets a joy out of that. Other men pay, but I'm not going to pay. That's a sociopathic way of thinking because he can just go into the real world and get a woman that's normal and doesn't want to be paid.
Yeah.
He gets a perverse joy from it.
Yeah, and one of the ladies that said that she wants to come on his show, and he told her you can't come on my show without giving me some and then she said I'm gonna show these messages if you're happy with that, and he goes yeah, show them, I don't care, I'm not ashamed. That's another characteristic of a sociopath, no sense of shame or remorse. So the red pill isn't a way to deal with feminism as it is. it's a way for the sociopath to gain validation. Because only as everything I'm seeing is alarming and it's psychopathic. But anyway, that's what Octavio, I think, wanted to go next.
Look, listen, it's the what feminism has managed to create is a sociopathic culture. Myron is a byproduct of that, and so is most people. They have a sociopathic way of looking at everything, including relationships, and including intersexual dynamics between men and women. So it comes out of what feminism has managed to create. So this sociopathic, we live in we're living in a world full of sociopaths, basically. I mean, let's just look at the definition of what sociopath is. Antisocial personality disorder, sometimes called sociopathy, is a mental health condition in which a person consistently shows no regard for right and wrong and ignores the rights and feelings of others. All right, it's a me culture.
And dehumanizing as well.
Huh?
Women are worth dehumanizing because
And a woman, both
Yeah.
both John Michelle mentioned something important there. He said it's almost like Myron wants to be, he wants to replace,
You want to
he
reverse
wants
the game on holes.
he wants to reverse the game. That's it. That's the word you use. He wants to reverse the game on these chicks that blatantly using men for using
can you
men.
explain that? Can you guys elaborate? Can you make it simpler? Because I don't understand.
Okay, this is what I mean.
Yeah.
So what it is if you okay, so what he sees the fact that there's women out there that are using men. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what the person who is not a sociopath would do, he'll say, okay,
Avoid
there's women
them.
out here, yeah, that he'd avoid them. The normal-minded person will say, oh, I'll just avoid them. What he does, he's so triggered by that because, and the triggering is the issue. Why is he triggered? That's what we need to talk about. Why is he particularly triggered? He's particularly triggered because he has a desire for them. He wants to lie in the dirt. He wants to dabble with the dirt. He literally, this is what I'm saying. It's interesting because these guys actually are fetishized. They see these women as fetishes, and they want to mire themselves with them. But
That's why they pay.
because yes,
Like
because of
DJ
the
academics.
right, exactly. They don't have to go for these women, but they want to. They're excited by them. Sexually excited, by the way. I need to add, sexual excitement. So what they do is, okay, I can't engage with them where they win. I need to engage with them to fulfill my fetishes, but when I win. You see what I mean? I don't know if that's made it more simple.
Yeah,
But that's what, yeah.
it's basically
Yeah,
they
I'm with
want
you now, Jay. I'm
they,
with you
they
now.
want
Yeah.
they want to do what promiscuous women are doing. They want
He's a man host.
they want to engage in the same behavior as promiscuous women. Okay, that's what they want to do. All right, and they want to have the leverage back. Myron often talks about, he gives the candy shop analogy. All right, I've worked on myself. I'm now
Women are
allowed
a
in
piece of
the candy
candy.
shop, and now you're gonna tell me, what candy I can and can't eat. Okay, candy just it's for women basically. So so what he's
Clitoris
basically
envy.
yeah,
Clitoris envy.
yeah, exactly. He wants to do the same thing. All right, that's all it is. But if you look at the term sociopath, okay, is basically I mean just look at society. It says it's a mental health condition in which a person consistently shows no regard for right and wrong and ignores the rights and feelings of others. That's pretty much Western societies. Most people behave in this way. They don't care about right and wrong, and they have no they ignore the rights and feelings of other people. They don't care. It's all about me. It's a me culture. All right. Myron often accuses these girls of basically behaving in that me type of way, but he is actually doing the exact same thing. This is why red pill is feminism for men. It's literally doing what feminism did for women. It's doing it is they they're doing it for men now, but if eventually it goes against women in the long run. It destroys women in the process.
Well, it destroys the family.
No, no,
Ultimately.
no.
The father's a sociopath.
I mean, just
and
okay.
so
Can
is
I
the
ask you a
mother.
question, bro,
Yeah.
bro Hassan? Can a woman go into a men's bathroom? Like, look, if can a
Can a
woman go
woman
to
go to
a men's toilet into a men's toilet?
not? It's not recommended, no.
Yeah, why not? Because a man today can.
A transgender man, you mean?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I call him a man. A man
I don't think you
can
should.
a man can go into a woman's toilet right now, and use it. It's legal.
It's not.
But a woman will not go into a man's toilet. Why not?
But,
Well, they
because I
would
just
if they identify as a man, they will.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good
if
point.
they identify as a man, they will. But how many cases have you guys seen of a woman that identifies as a man going into a man's toilet?
Yeah, very rare.
I'm
That's true.
yeah. I'm not managed. To be fair, it's a loaded question because I'm not keeping track.
I'm keeping track.
Okay.
No case. All we've
Right.
heard is cases of men that identify as women going into women's toilets.
Where
The
are these
real
policies going to, Octavio?
public toilets.
You're keeping you're a big guy. You're blocking off the door.
No, no, no. So basically, this guy, bro, this guy.
You're big.
Uh,
You're big. You're the size of the doorway, bro.
listen, don't start that. The thing is, what you've got is men. You don't hear no cases of women that identify as men going into men's toilet. All right, you don't see women that identify as men. Going into the UFC where there's loads of men and all of that and everyone they don't go into those, but men are the ones going into these women's spaces and taking over. You see what I'm saying? It's hatred for women. Women end up in the end, this women, it's basically it's turning women into slaves, into subhumans. That that's that's exactly what it is. When a woman engages in promiscuous behavior, basically her value goes down. I mean, even the red pill talks about that. All right. So that's what's happened. Women are becoming basically subhuman. They're becoming nothing but slaves, sexual slaves, which is what the red pill is advocating for, is for women to become sexual slaves.
Yeah, and as JM suggested, and I'll let Kadu go after this because Kadu's been listening patiently. So I've just googled the terms. Have you heard of the film called Juice Bigelow? Juice
Yep.
Bigelow. It's a comedy.
Yep.
So some of the terms that they use might describe the what red pill is turning men into. So it's a man whore, she johns, he, and then there's a p word, and mangina. So these are terms that are quite useful to look out for.
Well, Juice Bigelow is about a male gigolo, a man that
Yeah.
sleeps with women for sex.
Yeah,
It's a classic film, yeah.
it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But they're not gigolos though. They're not gigolos because gigolos are men that literally they cater to the needs of women. So I wouldn't call them gigolos.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's a bit different. But what these guys are doing is they're catering to their own fetishes. This is what I'm saying. They hate these women, but they fetishize these women at the same time. And there's
They're
an element
predators and
of,
they're sociopaths.
yes, I want to control that Kievan woman. They want to control the Jezebel and dominate her probably sexually.
And a good
Whereas a normal man would just leave them alone. That's why you keep hearing me talking about just leave them alone. Like, just do not engage with them. But they're like, and what they do sometimes, they present this idea that they're all this way. When you hear them talk about they're all this way, this is their justification for dealing with them.
dehumanizing.
This is their justification. This is their justification.
Dehumanizing them.
No, not just that, but they want to give the impression that. So when they engage with them, they want you to say, they want the perception to be, that's all that I can deal with. These are the only women that I have around.
Yes.
You see my point?
Yes.
Because then they can exercise. Really, it's about their fetishes.
And it transfers responsibility from them to society.
There you go. Exactly. when
And
they
also, I just
know
want
they
to,
know very well that they do not have to deal with these women. There's other women that they can deal with, but they
Yeah.
want to.
yeah. This goes back to the previous call when the guy said, "My wife or my girlfriend, she's happy with me as I am." And this is the previous phone call. If you guys can remember, he said, "My
Mm.
girlfriend, she's okay with me, being a loser or whatever. She said she'll still stand by me even if I'm at my
Yeah.
lowest point." I'm not. I have to Google it, but the psychopaths are very particular of how they're seen. If you see them in a negative light, in any way they despise you.
Mm.
I'd have to double check that, but that's the key factor. But I'll let
Guys,
KD jump in. I'll let KD jump.
yeah,
Go on,
go,
Calvin.
KD. What you? KD's probably triggered by now. KD, what's going on, bro? KD, you still there?
You're on mute. You're on mute.
KD, you're on mute. I'm trying to unmute him and
Oh, it's
nothing.
from his end. It's from
Yeah,
his end.
listen. Listen, look, I just thought of something, right? Um, when you look at what Red Pill, the way they address women. Oh, is that? Hold on. Yeah, when you look at how, yeah, it's probably triggered. When you look at how Red Pill addresses women, and this goes to the point that, what's his name? John Michelle was basically talking about. Katie just came back again. What's he doing? Katie, you still there?
You can hear.
Yeah, it
We
just
can hear
kicked
you.
me out for some reason.
I didn't kick you out, bro. We've been
No, the
trying to
system
get
I
does
don't
your
that
know.
a lot.
opinion. What's going on, bro? What's your opinion so far? I know you're probably triggered.
No, I'm not triggered. It's just, what are you guys trying to argue? I don't know.
Hmm? Well,
What are you
well,
guys trying to argue?
well. We started off with that the red pill movement is hatred for women. We started off with our women lazy, and we've managed to find out that what Myron was talking nonsense, and he wouldn't even admit it, that he calling women lazy. But the figure, hold on a sec. Actually, let me, before you go on, Katie.
Well, Hassan's made a good point in terms of why does the red pill seem to attract sociopaths?
Yeah, why do rape? That's it. Yeah, we're talking about that
Mm.
as well. All women, for example, all women are lazy.
Do you know why Hassan
All women,
suggested that?
hold on. All women are lazy.
Because he's a
All women are
genius.
gold. Hold on, bro. All, all women are lazy. All women are gold diggers. All women. This is just some of the stuff that they say. All right. So all women are only good for sex. They don't offer much outside of sex. Don't get married. If that doesn't sound like it's slavery for for women, I don't know what does. What do you reckon, Katie? Or you still don't know what we're talking about?
No, most of the audience is a bit, they might hate females, but in general, they never advocate to hate females. I don't know. Where's this coming from?
Well, what you just said there was quite interesting. What you just said, most of the listeners, they hate women. This is what you just said.
But Fresh and Fit doesn't advocate for the hatred of women. But would you say
No,
that
but
calling?
KD is just highlighted the fact that the listeners do hate women. He said most actually.
Yeah, he said most but hate women, but then he said that but Fresh and Fit don't hate women. That's basically what he's trying to say. And
Yeah, but why would people who hate women be drawn? People that hate women, why would they be drawn to a movement that doesn't hate women? That doesn't make sense. You'd be drawn to a movement where you can literally entertain those ideas and
exactly,
be and get some justification for them too.
exactly, and I was actually going to point out, yeah, Myron and Fresh might turn around and say, no, don't hate women to the other guys, but the ideas that they propagate in that platform definitely attract those guys that hate women. Ideas like all women are gold diggers, for example. All women
Inherently
are lazy.
lazy.
All women are
Inherently lazy.
inherently lazy. Women don't offer much outside of sex.
Yeah.
These are the ideas that they push on our.
But
Um,
let's look at his own lifestyle. Like the idea that you're on a site and you're telling a woman that you know is looking for payment, some type of payment, just come to my house so I can sleep with you. Um, he uses that as a chat up line.
Mm.
A sociopath.
Yeah, this. Oh my days.
There's no even-minded man that just approaches women online and says, "Come to my house, I can sleep with you." No one does that. No normal man thinks that way. You don't.
Mm. No, no, they don't. They don't. One of my criticisms of the red pill used to be that they always take morality out of the conversation, out of their ideas. They never bring right and wrong into it, and that goes to the definition of sociopath that we just read out. That
Mm.
these people do not care about right and wrong. It's all about what they want. That's it. It's a me culture, and I think the red pill is a philosophy that promotes this me. It's all about satisfying me. When it's all about you, people come what second. People come what and people come underneath you. You matter more than they are. You don't. That's how you. That's what the me culture produces that type of mentality, which is a sociopathic mentality, which is what the red pill promotes. That's why these ideas that all women are gold diggers. This is what I'm saying. This is why all of this, equates to the hatred of women.
Have you seen the chat sometimes? Have you ever looked at some of the chat that happens on the podcast? When I used to watch it, I used to read some of the chat that used to come up. If you see some of the things that some of these men say on the chat, I
Oh
mean,
yeah. Oh my days, man. Yeah, they used to go. They used to go
that's
in.
the audience. That's his audience.
That's his audience,
That's the
exactly.
audience.
That's
Yeah.
his audience. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. I think it's feminism for men. I think actually I wanted to go back to the video again, if you don't mind, bro. Just wanted to react a little bit more to that video. Because I really want to see where this whole thing goes to. Hold on a second.
Use for it.
Oh,
It's
what
not
should I use then?
unavailable, less capable to an extent. We're all capable of it, but you're gonna get a job that suits you, right? So I don't understand your point. Calling it lazy to me
Nelson, one
is
minute.
a little out
Yeah, hold
there.
on, hold
It
on.
is lazy because
Yeah, go on.
When did you notice when Myron asked her what word we use, and she hesitated, and you
Yeah.
notice that Fresh started sniggering.
Oh yeah, yeah. I heard that. I heard
Do
that
you
in
know
the
why? Do
background.
you know why? Do you know why he started sniggering? Hassan, do
What?
you know why he started sniggering?
No.
Let's see if Hassan picked up on it. Okay, he started sniggering because he was uncomfortable because of she was winning the debate
Ah, okay.
up to that point. When she showed hesitation, in his simple mind, that translates as, "Oh, she's not winning the debate anymore. Myra's back on top." Because there was no
Yeah,
need to snigger because she's not asking him to. It's not about him. She doesn't have to produce another word. You know what I mean? She's already argued why the word you're using doesn't make sense. She doesn't have to. He's asked her to come up with another word. It's not about coming up with another word. The word you're using is not appropriate. So there's no win in her in Myron saying to her, "We'll come up with another word," and she hesitates. But because they're so because Fresh is so simple-minded and up Myron's behind, that was a win. Oh look, see, Myron's back on top now because she hesitated. That's why he did that stupid sniggering. That really annoyed me, by the way, when he
he
did
does
that
that all the time, though. He does that all the
because
time.
he thinks he's being intelligent. Dude, you actually acting dumber when you do that because you're not offering anything to debate. You're just sniggering like a child.
Yeah, yeah, bro. That's like that's a trademark. That's a fresh trademark right there. That's sniggering.
they have the capacity to make more money, but they choose not to, and they'll take a pay cut because they don't want to work harder physically, even though they're capable of doing so. Might be a little bit harder. They can do it though, but they choose not to.
You want us to say inferior?
Yeah,
What
it's
about
a-
you? You
it's a good
disagreed with
word.
my point. Why?
Can you restate the question for me again?
Wasn't really a question. I just made a statement, and you were just like shaking your head. I was saying that women in general
Are lazier.
tend to be lazier when it comes to working laborious jobs like construction or any type of infrastructure type job that is,
That I mean, yeah, in a sense that is true. Women are lazier with physical jobs
yes.
and a lot of things along those lines because they don't. It's a lot more strenuous activity that they don't really want to do at the end of the day.
So what do you disagree with? Because you were shaking your head saying I was wrong.
I feel like women will do like the harder. Some women have the capacity to try and do those jobs, and I do know that because of my
But I said a
personal
majority.
experience. Yeah, majority.
I didn't say nothing like all, but I said a majority of women are not going to do those jobs.
That is true. I mean,
Even just in our own example here, all of you opted for the lower paying job that is less physically strenuous over the higher paying, more physically strenuous job.
Mhm.
Even though it was damn near it was over 3 times as much money earned, all of you opted for the lower income job. But if I asked that question to a bunch of men, all of them would have probably said the sewer job.
Well, I'll be in there tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's where I belong.
So
This is an
I think men are
example.
far more
No,
willing.
Because they are physically
No, but
unable
this
to
is
do that job. Oh man.
what we just saw, though, is a perfect example of when we spoke about how feminism in the long run it puts men on top and it's detrimental. The woman that responded, 'cause we discussed this when we did this, when we were going to do this before, Nelson. The woman that responded there and in some type of agreement, she actually is coming from more of a feminist mindset, where she's actually thinking to herself, no, women can do these jobs. You understand it? You see what? So in her mind, because she's a feminist, she genuinely believes that women can do these jobs, therefore they are lazy. So it goes back to what we were saying, how in the long term,
It
the
agrees with the
feminist
feminism.
mindset,
Yeah.
the feminist mindset is literally detrimental because according to this woman, she fully agrees women are lazy. Because in her mind, in her mind, the idea that women are physically weaker is not something she wants to entertain.
Because they believe in what? The idea of equality.
Right,
This
right.
idea of equality is going to literally destroy women in the long run. Because when you start thinking, you start thinking to yourself, you as a woman, you start thinking to yourself, so imagine a person that's weaker start thinking that they're just as strong
Right.
as a person who's extremely strong.
Right.
Imagine that. Just imagine that mindset, right?
Well, it's a mindset that will believe. It's a mindset that would believe that women are lazy for not doing the job.
Exactly, and that it all goes hand in hand.
Yep.
It goes perfectly hand in hand. So a feminist, because most women are feminists, they would actually believe in that
Agree with
nonsense.
this.
They'll believe
Yeah,
in the
they'll agree with
nonsense. They'll believe in the nonsense that Myron is basically spreading. The first one checked them on it. She checked them on it. But even she said, I've heard you say, look at the language that she used. I've heard you say. She didn't turn around. If she was a true feminine woman, she would have said, if she was completely not a feminist, she would have said, no, you're wrong because women are biologically weaker, so therefore they can't do those jobs. But she said, she started off with, I heard you say. The next woman actually went along with Myron's argument. So the more feminist you are,
this is an example of when this
pill.
is of when feminist mindset comes back to bite you in the behind. Because when you adopt it, you have to stop adopting these ridiculous positions. Because now we're all equal. Men and women are equal. They're the same strength. So if they're the same strength, yeah, you guys are lazy then.
Yeah.
They're not doing the same job. See how stupid she is?
It goes back to that example that I
up.
gave to Jake, right? Me making fun of like a man that would make fun. Only a man that would make fun. Let's say I'm going abroad with my family, and then I'm holding with the luggage, and I'm start making fun of my missus because she's weaker than me and she can't. Now, if only a man with a feminist mindset would make fun of a person that's weaker than them for not for not carrying the same bag.
Or make fun of a woman trying to be a man.
Sorry?
To make fun of a woman by comparing her to how she has shortcomings compared to a man. Comparing apples and oranges, basically.
Yeah, exactly. But you see, it works. It all works together. It all
And
works.
a feminist woman would be laughing right behind him. You see what I'm saying? A feminist woman would also be laughing at her, laughing at like, why are you letting her hold the, why is he holding the bag? You're struggling enough. Why are you letting him hold all the bags? That's what feminists would think.
Exactly. This is why I say Myron is not stupid. Myron knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He to me is an agent, bro. He's an agent. He works for feminism because it's the same ideology. Red pill is the same ideology.
It's either that or a supreme genius.
Yeah. Let's continue.
To sacrifice themselves and put their dreams to the side or do something that they like less to make money versus women are not necessarily willing to do that. Women are more likely to chase their passions, even if it pays them less than men are. But the reason for that is because women aren't assessed on their ability to create income, really. No guy's ever going to come to you and be like, oh, you make 20K per year? I'm not going to fuck with you. Men in general really don't care about that.
You can work at Wendy's or Chick-fil-A yourself. Guys will still wife you up.
Yeah.
Vice versa.
Matter of fact, you guys said that you wouldn't be interested in fast food work.
Stop. What was that again? You could work at Wendy's and Chick-fil-A, and a man will still what now?
Wife you up.
Date or wife?
Wife.
Oh, interesting. That's interesting, isn't it?
Well, wife you up is date, basically.
Because I was under the impression that these types of dudes wouldn't even date a woman that works because she has a boss and she's masculine, let alone quote wife them up. But I guess I was wrong.
Well, it makes sense because the girl who works the assumption is that the girl that works at Wendy's doesn't have a higher education. Which means that she's less likely to argue with you, less likely to question your way of thinking. But I was under the impression that any woman that works is masculine. This is what I've heard. Any woman that works is masculine. If she has to work, it's better that she does a job that's menial, entry level.
Still has a job. Still has a boss though. Still has a boss. Remember. See, that's another argument that the woman can't deal with women that work because they have bosses.
Yes.
This is what I've heard.
Yeah. Basically, what they're basically trying to say is that a man doesn't care about a woman's job, so therefore he will basically date a woman, even a woman that works at what do you call it, a McDonald's, basically, because men don't care about a woman's job. I think that's what they're alluding to. It's just to a certain extent. I mean, personally, I don't want my woman to work. I think most men wouldn't, because working at home is strenuous enough. Hold on, let's carry on.
Worker.
Yeah.
A guy ain't gonna give a shit about that. If a girl's attractive and cool, she works at McDonald's, he'll date her all day.
Oh, interesting.
That's a fair point.
Yeah. So you don't disagree, I guess? Even though
No, the way that you restated it, I understood it better. I don't disagree.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I might have misheard it a little bit at first, but I don't agree with your statement.
You're triggered, but it's okay. It happens very often where girls will hear what I got to say and their feelings take over and they're like, I don't like this.
Yeah, go ahead.
This doesn't have anything to do with the video in particular. But if you could just imagine for a minute that, let's say Myron and Fresh were neoconservatives. You know, the type that just think immigration's bad and IQ's a clear indication of how intelligent the races are and they're race efficient.
All right types.
Yeah, all the right types. And then these were
alt-right.
All right, that's it.
Yeah.
And these were people of, and the women, instead of women, it was women of people of other ethnic minorities. But these are people that don't necessarily have the same level of education and may not be it may be the English, maybe their third or second language.
Yeah.
This is the dynamic that I'm seeing. It's always the only thing of value of, because most of these women, no disrespect to them, but they're usually in the sex industry. They're sex workers as defined.
Yeah.
That's not a fair representation
No.
of women. So I've never seen a full-time nurse just coming on and saying, I don't want to be on
Thank you.
OnlyFans.
Thank you.
I've never seen a teacher there who's a full-time teacher saying, well, what the hell are you doing? It's always pretty much the women who are
Yeah.
sexually liberal and
Yes.
and then poking at that mindset, and then
Yeah.
you see the one woman who agrees with everything that the men say in a few episodes, because they've started doing that now.
Yeah.
Where there's
Yeah.
one
I've
woman
seen
that
that.
agrees with everything they say, and they say, oh yeah, women should be at home and this, that, and the other,
Yeah.
to a derogatory level, not to the
Yes.
point of a choice of what's suitable for the individual family, but women by
Yeah.
nature should not be capable, full stop, of
Yeah.
anything that a man can do to a certain
Yeah.
extent.
Yeah. But
So
it's interesting because it's interesting, Hassan, because they do sometimes cross over into that type of alt-right mindset when it comes to race and immigration.
Yes.
Yeah, they do. You've heard Myron make these types
Yeah.
of
The
echo in these type
clan,
of sentiments.
yeah,
When they can have talking about
preaching.
black people are this and stupid and
Yeah.
lazy. He's literally, there's picture literally of him headlined, black
Yeah.
people are lazy.
Yeah. Oh,
So he oh yeah. You search it. Just search Myron says black people are lazy.
I'll
You'll
take your
see
word for it. I'll take your word for
thumbnails.
it.
Yeah, you'll see thumbnails
Yeah.
of videos with him,
Yeah.
and that's actually the title of the video. So he's
Yeah.
already meddling in that waters.
Yeah, so it's a trend. It's not just in relation to women, seeing them as less than, and any interaction with them should be predatory. It's anybody that doesn't fit up to the Eurocentric
Thank
alt-right
you.
perspective of a man. That's why
Yeah.
I guess yeah,
But hold on. This is perfect. Because this
because
literally.
Yo,
I'm in
KD is leaving now soon. Okay.
Okay.
Shouts to KD.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
gonna leave now.
All right, my bro.
Okay,
Take
I would
bro.
care.
love to argue more, but I've got to wake up early tomorrow.
It's got
I'm
Alright,
early.
bro.
literally falling asleep.
Okay, bro. Take care.
Take care, bro.
But
See ya.
quickly, guys, I'm gonna go soon. Quick, but I just want to make this point because I'm glad Hassan said that, because that literally goes in what we were talking about the other day when we talk about the motivations behind their mindset and the self hate and the issues with their status and their ethnicity and how that could fuel them into this. And
shifting
part of
always
that,
towards
part of that is identifying with the dominant culture.
and they
As a
have
way of
maybe have
validating,
yeah
yourself.
yeah
And Myron does that. Myron is constantly trying to validate himself to the dominant culture. That's why Myron's actually made videos lamenting on the plight of white men.
Has he done that? I want to see that.
Absolutely, he's made a video saying it's so
Saying what?
difficult to be a
Saying
white.
what?
It's so difficult to be a white man now. White men are now the ones that are the most likely to be discriminated against. Myron has made videos saying that. I've heard
Oh
him
yeah, I
with my
remember.
own
Yeah,
ears.
I've heard him say that. I've heard him say
Right.
that. Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying. These guys, they have such low self-esteem to the point where they start to validate themselves by being the lapdogs. These are good. That guy, Vivek,
Yeah.
the guy that's a perfect example of it. This guy literally does everything in his power to ingratiate himself with the Trumpists who essentially don't want people like him around, and he understands that. So he literally, to the point where Trump made fun of him. He made fun of him to the point where he had to stop his campaign, and the first thing he did was then go behind Trump's behind, grinning and skinning teeth. That's the perfect example of what I'm talking about. Some of these immigrants, unfortunately, they have such low self-esteem and that they start to then they need so much validation that they start to then identify with the worst of the dominant culture.
Do you know?
And
Do you know? I
and
think it
Myron
is.
does that.
Do you know? I think it is. I think it's assimilation more than a lack of
Yes,
self-esteem. I think it's
well,
more.
both. I say both.
Yeah, it's because you are. I mean, you've immigrated to this country. There is going to be a hierarchy in this country. This country will promote their own ideas over
Yep.
yours. Their way of life will be different. So it's like, in order for you to get ahead, or for you
Can't
to
beat
be
them, join them. Can't beat them,
recognized,
join them.
yeah, exactly. If you can't, exactly, can't beat them, join them. So when you end up joining, you end up assimilating, and when
Right.
you end up assimilating, you end up backing
Compromised.
Can I play a quick audio for you guys?
Compromised.
compromise. Yeah,
Can I play a quick audio for you guys?
yeah. Go
It
ahead.
won't
man.
take too long for me to send the link. So this
Yeah,
is Myron describing the difference between, it's a short clip, 45 seconds, just describing the difference between how black men might interact with a 304 or whatever in comparison to where a white man would interact with a 304 to a certain, there's a slight difference. It's nothing too deep, but there's something you'll notice. And again, we might be straw manning him here, but the trends do sort of fit what we're seeing. But I'll play it anyway. But yeah, if it's like a girl that they took serious, like it was his girl at one point, 100% off limits. Okay, guys, I don't want to. Some guys are different about it. Like some dudes are like, yeah, this is gonna be funny. Ask a couple brothers for a funny story and shit. But and then some guys are like, hell, fuck, I've noticed with black dudes, they don't like doing that shit. White guys were all like, yeah, but I said we. Officially just stamped Myron.
I've seen that clip.
When I was in college. Yeah, I've just.
Yeah, he identified as a white man. It's some kind of Freudian slip that happened. But yeah, that's very telling because he literally identified as a white male.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
that
remember.
said a lot
That
right there.
clip. I didn't quite get.
That was
what
in the UK. That was in the UK. That he did that. He was in the UK.
Yeah.
What was he saying? What was he saying?
So
do you want me to send it to you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, send it.
So basically, he was talking about the difference between white men and black men, and he said black men do so and so, but then he said we. When he was referencing white men, he said we. And they picked up and they were like, "Hold on, you why didn't you identify? You don't identify with the black guy. When you say we, you identify with the white guy."
Oh, he let that
he laughed.
slip.
He let
that
slip.
slip.
But that's absolutely him. He literally revealed himself because he does identify with the dominant white male. That's why he defends them. That's why he defends them.
Yeah,
and by
and
the
I
way,
think at some point, at some level, he thinks that the black community is less than the white community.
Put your hands up.
Yeah, he
not
doesn't
only
like
that.
Doesn't like the American culture and all of that type of stuff. It doesn't.
And if you noticed, they literally will have a kind of a specific disdain for white women that go for black guys. You hear them suddenly making references to the woman and he has a particular guest on there called Zerka, who has a weird obsessive fascination with black male and black male genitalia, while at the same time making racial comments about black men. So so he seems to identify with that. He literally believes that white men that go white women that go black men. The white woman is doing herself a disservice. This is coming from him.
You think so,
bro? I'm telling you.
You think that
Nelson is the one that Nelson actually highlighted that to me. It was Nelson that picked up on that
because that's quite a line to cross to go.
It's literally Nelson that picked up on that. So
which one again? Which one again?
So JM is alluding to the idea. Well, he's pointing out to the character trait of Myron as being a person who despises or has a certain level of disdain for white women that prefer black men. So it puts an image in my mind of that character from the Chappelle Show, the black KKK member.
Yes.
Wherever he's
he wore KKK hat, remember? But Hassan, he wore the KKK hat. So he actually is Clayton Bigsby. That's the guy's name.
Clayton Bigsby.
He is
that's-
Myron. He's Myron. If I were to start
Bigsby.
calling him that now, Myron Bigsby.
Yeah. Basically, what I meant is that Zerka, yeah.
I'm gonna make a Photoshop. I'm gonna Photoshop that.
Zerka likes to anytime Zerka insults a white woman,
Yes.
he always makes a reference to a
Right.
black man's genitalia, and
Yes.
and I found that is that why do you always need to? It's like
Well,
every time you're degrading the woman, because that's what's happening. That's what he's doing when he's insulting her. He's degrading her. He always focuses on the black man's genitalia, so he uses that as the insult. So the grades are using that, and that actually says more about how he feels
Right.
towards the black race than anything else. That's what I've noticed. He loves doing that. I don't know. Well, I know why.
He even admonishes men for that potential. He says to men, if you're not careful, your wife will end up on the top of a black so and so. He even says it to men to be careful.
Say
This
that
is
again?
deep.
So Zerka says that.
He even says to men, if you're not careful, what do you want? You want your woman to end up on a BC?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard him say that to men.
What Zerka?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but in all fairness to Zerka, he does have mental. He does have some issues.
No,
Yeah,
hold on, guys.
I know you're gonna argue it.
No, guys, we don't know.
He says it himself.
Clear. Hold on, let's be clear.
He said himself when he was in Canada. He's from Canada, Zerka. That he used to be afraid of going to the Somali areas because they scare the hell out. And he obviously has some sort of deep-rooted fear of black people. I don't want to argue who's defined as black or who's not.
That's a weird stuff because apart from the goons I know in Camden, Somalian guys are pretty cool.
in Camden,
apart from the Somali goons I know that you do not want to mess about with in Camden.
Yeah.
Apart from those guys, that I know a few of those guys that you don't want to mess around with them. Somali guys are pretty chill.
They're great. But
That's
no lies detected. No lies detected.
Am I lying, Nelson?
No, you're not lying, bro. You're not lying for the most part.
There's no need to add a but in Canada.
And in Leytonstone, be careful around there as well.
Yeah.
We'll leave the list there. But
let's leave it there.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere, really. You know,
yeah.
You say Wembley too, maybe.
Okay, there you
go. Sorry, guys.
Anyway.
Yeah, go on, Hassan. Go on, bro.
Anyway.
So why am I laughing?
You know,
that's actually funny.
You know.
Sorry.
But yeah. So he said he's got deep-rooted fear of, and he's taken a lot of psychotropic. He's seen us. His brother's a psychologist, and I
he's
think
a cokehead. He's a massive cokehead.
Yeah, he's got a drug problem. He's got quite a few issues, and I've never seen him back and fresh and fit since he had got into that street fight with that.
I think there's a
stream. JM? The audio's gone a bit, JM. Hello, JM?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, yeah.
I think there was some type of intervention.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
Which was needed.
But guys, Zerka, he will use terms like mental health, but he will use it so that he's not held accountable for what he says. Be careful with that. Like he knows how the system works, and he knows how to move within the system. He knows how to say certain things. Like, for example, if he mentions mental health, then that means he could just say, yeah, it's because of my mental health. So that's
a good point. To get out of trouble.
To get out of trouble. So It's deceptive, really. So I wouldn't take everything that he says, as the truth.
What I find weird, and I mentioned this to you before, how I'll be very interested to see the racial makeup of Fresh and Fit's.
That's a great point.
What do you reckon it is?
Most black.
Black and brown.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. 100%. I've made a tweet. I remember writing a tweet a long time ago. Well, it's not that long ago. Most white supremacists aren't white, in my opinion. Just on the
Really,
numbers
right?
scale. Yeah.
A lot of them
'cause
are. Yeah.
Yeah. To argue the fact that this person, for someone to say I'm superior, could be a small sample, but for a variety of people to say yes, you are superior,
They're
could be
superior.
yeah, they're superior. Yeah, could be a larger sample pool. I think that's the case. I think a lot of black and brown people have that inherent inferiority complex to white people, which makes them white supremacists to a degree.
That's interesting, actually.
Yeah. I think the only racial element to it is the fact that I think what these people idolize is more of the culture that white societies have created than anything else. And I think that's the real supremacy. Of course, there's the racial element to it, would be that white people are in power of that culture. But yeah,
a new Babylon.
yeah, exactly. It's they get to
But you know
benefit.
why?
Sorry.
Go
Go on, Jojo.
Yeah, the reason why I'm interested about that is because I think I mentioned this to you, Octavio. I find it strange, even among some of the supporters we have around us, because this is a guy that is a Muslim immigrant that makes it very clear he's in the West to have sex with the dominant women. Okay, he made it clear he doesn't really check for black women like that. So that leaves obviously, white women, and that's his preference. Who he always prefers as 3 or 4s, and who he makes it clear that he wants to have a massive, like literally pump and dump routine. So we have a Muslim that's over here to basically pump and dump white women, right? He then makes it clear that after he does this, he's going to go back to his homeland and then marry a virtuous woman. I find that strange that people that support Trump and other types of that type of demographic, I find it strange that they seem to not have an issue with it, and that may be why he offsets that by making it clear that I'm also anti-black too. I don't know. This is just my theory. Interested to hear what you guys think.
What's the crux of your theory? So I get the actions.
I think he offsets it. He offsets the fact that he's an immigrant over here that wants to pump and dump white women and then go back to his. Because if you went up to your average Trump supporter and say, "What do you think about this individual?" and you don't give your name, you say, "There's a Muslim immigrant over here that's made it clear that he only wants to pump and dump white women, and then he wants to go back to his homeland and marry one of his own people." If you present that to the average Trump supporter, what do you think they would say about that individual?
They wouldn't like that very much.
Yeah,
they wouldn't like it. They say, get that SOB out of here. That's what they would say.
Yeah.
Okay, so he knows that. So he needs to offset that by making it clear, I'm also anti-black though. Like I'm with you on this. Yeah, do you see what I mean? Yeah, because trust me, if he was pro-black with that mindset, he wouldn't be on the. He would have been chased off that channel.
That's it. Yeah. It wouldn't be a pop. It would be demonetized before it started.
Thank you. There you get my point.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
100%. I think that's. I think there's a little bit of a clever manipulation he's doing there, where he needs to come across as very conservative, some level of white conservatism, because he knows that he's a Muslim man.
There was a clip.
Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on. Let me just address Alex. Alex, shouts to you, bro. What's going on, bro? Hope you're good. Yeah, we know this. We've reacted to are women lazy? We reacted to a video clip of Myron basically calling women lazy, and he got checked on it. And what ended up happening is Myron wouldn't admit that he was wrong. So that's what we were reacting to. We reacted to that quite a while back. What's the yeah? And now we kind of moved on onto other topics. But yeah,
I want to
uh,
mention something before I forget it.
yeah,
So
yeah,
there was
yeah.
there was a clip on Twitter,
Shouts
and
to you, Alex.
there was a clip on Twitter, and Chris sort of interrupted him because he didn't like where the conversation was going. But Fresh, or Myron anyway, he said, a lady said, well, she was a Jewish panelist, she was a Jewish guest, and she had a cross, so she had a Jewish thing on her neck. Oh, no, she had a cross on her neck or something like this. I'll have to find the clip. And he said, "Why do you have a cross on your neck? But you're Jewish. It's weird." And then she said, "I just like it." And then he said, "Well, didn't the Jews kill Christ? Well, that's a bit weird." And then Myron steps in to interrupt him and say, "Hey, we're not going down that white supremacist weird
Yeah, he
route."
tries to stay away from religion as much as possible. Hold on a
Yeah.
second, bro. I just want to ask Alex if you can hear me. Yeah, do you think women are inherently lazy? Just a quick question. I just want to find something out. What do you think about women being lazy? And Myron saying that women are lazy. What do you think about that? Do you
Can I
agree?
finish?
Do you agree with that sentiment? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, so,
Oh, by the
yeah,
way, Hassan,
yeah,
that him
yeah,
checking fresh,
yeah.
because if they were on Rumble, he wouldn't have checked fresh.
Okay.
Him checking fresh was because um, the clan outfit that he wore and the Nazi
Uh,
salute he made
uh,
already caused
So
him
Lauren,
to
I'm
be
wondering right
demonetized.
now.
sorry about that. I was playing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So
Yeah.
they already he understands that the the Nazi salute he made
Oh yeah,
and the
yeah, 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 yeah. Which is
and that had
crazy.
the link between that and Jewish people.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
understood that probably was one of the main reasons that led to him being demonetized.
yeah.
So obviously he doesn't want to be thrown off the channel completely. So
That,
he has to be very careful about talking about Jewish people.
that's a good
That's
point.
why
He
he
might.
said that.
Yeah,
That's
and
why he said,
Chris.
because I can
Very.
guarantee you right now, Myron is anti-Semitic too. By the way.
Yeah.
Hold on a
Anything
Yes,
to
second.
do with
Yes.
Islam.
Yeah, he is. He is. Guys, hold on. He likes to say he's not, but he is. Look at
yes.
Alex's response. Sorry, Hassan. Look at Alex's response. Remember what we were talking about earlier, right? What's
Yeah.
the argument here? The full quote is women are lazy when it comes to making resources. It goes when it comes to creating excess resources, yes.
I need to know his. I'd like to know what his definition of excess resources is.
Yeah, I would love to know what the definition of excess resources
Please
is.
call in, Alex. Come in, man.
Yeah, come
Yeah.
in, Alex. Yeah, I would actually love to know what his position is on this. So because he said women are lazy because apparently they can't create excess resources. That's actually quite interesting. Yeah, sorry, Hassan. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So then on Twitter, there was a lot of the people that were supporting Myron were like, yeah, he's cooking. Let him cook. They were neo Nazis, man. They're just like pro-Nazi, anti-black. It's a big trend in
Uh,
America now since Trump's come
JLP,
in.
those neo Nazis are keeping. I know you're. This is why I asked you about the demographic because I believe that it's not just black and brown. I think there's an element there
Mm-hmm.
of incel white supremacy
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that ride with them too.
Okay.
Because a lot of incel white supremacists, a lot of white supremacists are also incels. They also
Why is
have
that?
very because again it's about projecting. But a lot of them,
But why are they?
um,
That goes back to a whole deeper issue that the trauma that they have. Some
yes,
sort.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's about
And
hate.
blaming
But
on white
projecting. Just project. Yeah, there
gender
you go.
traits, as race traits,
Projecting.
and
By the
these
way,
women.
a lot of these white supremacists actually have a preference for Chinese women. That's
Yeah,
another
it's a big
interesting
thing.
dynamic.
Yeah.
What
Because they
the
don't
Unique
because they
stereotype.
believe that because they believe that the white woman is completely rotted from feminism. Um, so
yeah
again, you can
Chinese?
see a man with that mindset would listen to some of that for Myron. You know,
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I remember Myron and Fresh competing on who's got a skinnier wife.
Well, interesting. That in itself says everything.
Yeah. Like my mine's slimmer than yours, type of thing. But yeah, this is a good point you made that the incel white supremacists would support Myron Bigsby over here.
Yeah.
I never thought
By
of
the
that.
way, there's a guest that they had on there who apparently got rape allegations. I forgot what his name is, but I think he actually lives in the East somewhere. I think it's China or I think it's China. And he, a white guy, and he makes a big point of talking about the virtues of Chinese women. He's on there. He's been on their guest a few times, but he
Are you
recently was
talking about
accused. He recently was accused of rape, and he had to defend himself.
are you talking about the what's his name?
He's got like a pencil beard.
Yeah, he's got a channel as well, doesn't he?
Yes.
No worries, Alex. No worries. Shouts to you though. Shouts to you, bro. Oh yeah. I know who you're talking about. He's got a
He was
channel.
on the PBD podcast. And
And he
apparently
goes
they
to he goes to Japan. He goes to Japan regularly.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
He's the one that
Brains.
says people should endure.
Enjoy. Yeah, he loves to say that. Yeah. That's right.
He made a point about the domestic violence. Yeah, him. So that's a perfect example. And again, he's also made very interesting. He also said that the white man is the most under attack male right now. He also said that on the Facebook podcast. So there's all these little correlations that they all seem to have. They all seem to correlate. Like they all seem to kind of, come together on certain issues around race and women. The white man is under attack.
Modern life dating. That's his name.
That's it. That's the guy. Modern life dating.
Japan.
Yeah,
Japan's the place. Japan.
These are the talking points, guys. On race,
but Myron has also said that the white men. Myron has also said that the white man is the most desired,
but also the biggest victim. How does this work out?
Yeah, he's very big into victimhood. The white man is the biggest victim, which is the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Well, you live long enough, you hear everything, right?
No data whatsoever on earth justifies that statement. Not one piece of data can you produce that will tell you that white men are now the victim of discrimination more than anyone else. But someone will try, I'm sure. But the point is, these are the talking points. White men are the victims. Black people are lazy and inherently lazy. And women are subservient and should be
subservient.
Yeah, should be. It's all linked.
Where does it go back to?
That's a good question. Interesting. There's a number of trad cons that actually have that mindset too, in a weird way.
Yeah, that's why I despise them. They're undercover lunatics.
Oh, trust me. The trad cons, I hate them more because trad cons, a lot of trad cons.
Thank you, JM.
You know why? Because at least these guys are open with it.
Yeah.
These Matt Walsh guys are very racist.
Oh yeah. The things that he's said.
Right? Very racist. He said more offensive things in Fresh and Fit.
Yeah.
And they hide it. The Ben Shapiro's and these guys.
Yeah.
Nasty pieces of work.
Yeah.
Very nasty pieces of work.
That's
why you see me. That's why I don't go into any of these camps. I don't identify with any of these guys.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen that from Matt Walsh, but do send me the link. I want to see. I want to see that.
You hear that, JM?
I haven't seen it.
I have. I have to find it.
Octavia wants us to go into the sewer, pick up the last piece of crap.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
I knew Matt Walsh before he started doing this "Are You a Woman" thing. He was known in black circles as being that. Yeah. He transitioned now to the trans thing, but before that, a lot of his rhetoric was very anti-black.
I know.
What was his main objection? I guess
the usual ones that again the whole theory that Charlie Kirk, very Charlie Kirkish, the whole idea that black people are over pandered to and they're inherently lazy and white people are bending over backwards for them. What more do they want? Obviously, the idea of reparations is a complete joke because none of my ancestors were slaves and all that type of stuff.
Oh,
The
okay.
same rhetoric that the Charlie Kirks and him and Ben Shapiro, there's always have that little slight element of anti-black. The other one, George Floyd was a criminal and he deserved it. That type of stuff.
Oh, George. Okay, 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 okay. No,
In
no
fact,
one,
we've heard someone around here say that too. By the way,
no one deserves to
thank
die.
you. No one deserves to die. You don't want to judge jury. No one is Judge Dredd out here.
Yeah, no
Jury,
one deserves
jury,
it.
executioner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've made it clear that I believe that the Western world is degenerate. Us in the black community really need to stop indulging and creating the type of music and the type of culture that just destroys us, really. But then again, you see it all around. This is not something that's specific to the black race. This is specific to every single race, and everyone is assimilating into this culture. And I believe that this culture is destructive to all. Um, so yeah, one could make that argument for every single race in the West currently. You know, in the type of stuff that they indulge in. That's what I would say to that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You know, but yeah, but then again, it's how people interpret right and wrong. You know, certain people don't think that these things are. You know, we've got people out here that believe that a man should be a woman and a woman should be a man. They think that that is right. It's all how people interpret right and wrong. You know, so who's right and who's wrong? I think that is the real question. So when you've got culture that tells you what's wrong is right and what's right is wrong, you got
Yeah, but it's always nuanced and it's never that clear. So, for example, we can assess that the medical industry has sort of betrayed its moral foundation by saying what is insane is sane. For example, that a man can identify as a woman and we should give him a new title, like a trans woman, and then that person can enter into the bathroom and do whatever, and all you really need to do to identify yourself as a woman is say, I am a woman, I identify as a woman. Let that be the end all of it, while keeping
no,
all
bro.
the hardware, right? But having said that, we can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We can't make murky, and we can't prioritize what would we consider immoral as being the foundation of what's right and wrong, when that there's a lot more nuance to it.
Bro, you and me, we have a religion that we believe in, and that
Yep.
religion tells us that certain things are wrong and certain
Yeah.
things are right.
Yeah.
Okay, we are living in a country that
Yeah.
doesn't think like that.
We live
Uh,
on a planet that doesn't think like that, and we never did.
no, 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 no. I'm talking about the what was promoted in the Western world.
But you're centralizing it. You're narrowing it to the Western world.
I'm narrowing to the Western world because, for example, if I was to fly out to a Muslim country,
Mm-hmm.
some
Pick one. Pick
Like
somebody,
one.
Saudi Arabia, that's selling alcohol now. You mean?
yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, even that's news. That's news. This is how
It should
much
be.
it's not. This is how much it's not all over the world. This what I'm basically saying is that that's why I'm narrowing it down to the Western world. So because me and you have a certain belief system that believes that thinks this is right, this is wrong. The Western world is not moving like that. They don't have that. Secular the secularization of the world. They don't think like the secular countries don't think like that. The way they think is they have their own idea of what is right and what is wrong. And their idea of right and wrong is to do what you feel like. So if you feel like being a woman, you can be a woman, and that's fine. If you feel like being a man, you can be a man, that's fine. If you feel like you're a homosexual, you can whatever you feel like you can be. All right.
The
So
point.
of course we're gonna clash. You're gonna clash with people that don't have the same values as you do, have the same moral values as you do. You know, and that's always going to be an issue.
I think it's always going to be an issue. I think the idea that as people with a religious foundation, we have the morals high ground, and the world should adjust to us is a narrow-minded thinking perspective, because it's news now. It's news now that there's drinking alcohol. Alcohol may become
Legal.
available to legal to diplomats in certain diplomatic scenarios, right? It wouldn't be served in public. But it wasn't news that the call to prayer has now been requested in most cities. That the call to prayer has now been turned down or recommended that it be turned off instead of the call to prayer going out publicly, right? It's not news that there are lots of Ethiopian migrants that were shot at just crossing the border, not put into camps, not taken to detention, not deported, but just shot at by the guards.
Where is it? By who?
By the Saudi government.
Saudis, okay.
Yeah. So the point I'm making is it can never be unified. There will always be injustice. The goalpost will always be shifting in terms of establishing a moral foundation, or the ground will always be shifting in trying to establish a moral foundation. The point I'm making is, what do you prioritize, right? Do you prioritize justice, or do you prioritize antisocial behavior, or there is essentially no safe space for a religious person or a person that uses the Abrahamic faith as his moral foundation.
Yes, because the secular countries do not agree with the Abrahamic faith, so they're creating their own value system, their own moral value system, and their moral value system goes against people that believe in Abrahamic faith. So at at the end of the day, it's I mean that's
So what you're saying is literally it's not the official line. This is your interpretation. The official line is the UK is a Christian country, for example, very Christian country. It still has its official religion. In fact, often it's used to demonize people that practice other faiths. This is a Christian nation. We can't have so and so. This is a Christian nation. So it's actually, even though you're suggesting that, that's definitely not the official line. The official line is that the United Kingdom is a Christian country, specifically Church of England, and the establishments that the people still swear on the Bible and stuff. So yeah, I think there's still an element of it. I don't think it's completely secular.
Not by law. By law, the UK is a secular country, not a Christian country. The UK is a Christian country by heritage, meaning historically it has been Christian.
My parents are Christian.
In fact, the UK hasn't been Christian since just before the 1700s. That's when the church and state split, and basically, if it was a Christian country, we would see the parliament making laws according to Christian morality or moral ethics.
This is the point I'm making, though. It
No,
wouldn't
no,
make
no.
a difference, though.
No, hold on. That's basically what. No, it's by law. It's a secular country.
Yes.
I can bring it up, but yeah, heritage wise, yes, of course. But
I think it's more sinister. I think that these people don't believe it's secular. They actually believe that they are still Christians, but in their arrogance, they can now incorporate. Yeah, incorporate.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
pagan beliefs.
Non-Christian. Yeah, pagan beliefs. That's it. Perfect. Pagan beliefs into the. That's what you'll see. You'll see. Rishi Sunak. Well, not Rishi Sunak. Well, actually, no. Isn't he Christian?
Rishi Sunak.
Is he Christian?
100%
okay.
Hindu.
Well, you'll see someone like Starmer. Isn't he identified as a Christian?
I don't. Maybe.
Starmer.
Yeah.
Well, there's point I'm making. There's politicians out there that would identify as Christian.
I'll give you a perfect example.
Okay, go ahead.
Vivek said, and I remember Octavio playing this. And I remember thinking, this is hilarious. I could play it for you now, but if you want to take my word for it, he said, they said to him, "You're a Hindu. What do you think that's going to do to the voter base? Do you think people are comfortable voting for a Hindu?" He said, "Although I am Hindu, I believe in a Judeo-Christian. I believe in Judeo-Christian values, which just blew my mind.
Pandering. That's what I'm
So
saying. So
say,
this
say,
is what I'm
say
saying.
But
that, say that,
that's how
say
impotent
that again.
Christianity.
Say that again.
No, but
You
the
know,
question is, Hassan, why is he pandering to? If it's a so-called secular nation, why is he pandering to
I've got
Christians?
the answer for
So
that. I have the answer for that
okay, go
because
ahead.
Christianity in America, seemingly so to a certain extent, and in the West to a certain extent, just means white. It doesn't mean I believe in
Oh,
the God of Moses or the God of
smart,
Abraham and the God of Jesus. I believe in not
excellent.
not X amount, because the Bible goes into great details of what you can do, what you can't do. It's pretty, I assume, as strict as the Quran and as
So it's an
if
identity. It's a cultural
yeah
identity more than anything.
yes.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
if let's say if a Christian was to say in a Muslim country was to say I'm running for elections, even though the 99% of the country, 99.9% of the country is Muslim, and I'm a Hindu, I'm a Christian, I still believe in Prophet Muhammad's values. They're like, then give up your faith. Rather you give up your faith and win our
Yeah,
votes, because our votes mean nothing.
guys,
What does that vote mean?
guys.
Interesting.
For the until recently, I would say about 4 years ago, uh, there was still more people that identified as Christians, but until recently, most people in UK actually identify as atheists. I think it reached 55%. Now,
Hmm.
of course, if a country is historically a certain religion, its people are still going to believe in that religion even when it stops becoming it, because you have to understand one thing. Secular just means separation of church and state. That's all secular means. It means that the church is no longer in charge of making the laws of that particular country. All right. As soon as that happens, does everyone agree that the Pope or the Bishop of, is it Canterbury? I don't know how the Anglican thing is set up. Can everyone agree that they
He's
don't
a vicar of Dibley. He's a vicar of
yeah,
Dibley.
can
Of
But,
everyone
but
agree
yeah, the
that they
TV
don't
show.
did,
have a say when it comes to making the laws of this country?
They
true.
don't have it.
They
But
don't, right?
this is what I find interesting, and this is going to sound a bit macabre, what I'm going to say, but I watched a video the other day that was about the 9/11 attacks, and they had audio of when the towers, people calling when the towers collapsed, people on the planes, people in the news anchors. You know what they all had in common? What were their final words were?
Jesus,
God, God,
God help
Jesus,
me.
God, oh my God, God have mercy on me, God have mercy
Oh
on them.
yeah,
So I find so there's definitely something within the psyche of human beings. I
no, 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 of
guarantee you,
course, bro. Yeah,
some of those people that were saying that, I guarantee identified as atheists.
as
But
atheists,
at that moment, why are we laughing?
exactly,
It's terrible.
exactly,
But
exactly.
at that moment, it's interesting how they suddenly acknowledge the God.
Yeah. So yeah, basically. So listen, what makes a country what makes a country religious or a particular religion is when that country makes laws according to their religious beliefs. That's what makes a country religious. When that no longer happens, it becomes now secular. This is why we have the separation of church and state. This is why this country is a secular country. But it's going to take some time before people abandon their religion and
Hmm.
accept the what we have today. Accept things like abortion, accept things like these type of laws that goes against Christianity. But yes, this country is one. Actually, I'm reading from Wikipedia. It says British society is one of the most secularized in the world, and in
Mm.
many surveys determine religious political. Then it goes into agnosticism, non-theism, atheism, secular humanism. Ba- that's what I'm trying to say. Well, the whole West is like that anyway. But yeah, is there remnants of people that used to believe in Christianity still around? Yes. But as time goes on, it will become more secularized, which means all that means is more atheist, more pagan, and we're going to see that in due time. This is why they are able to introduce laws like abortion, the pill, men can be a women can be men. This is why they're able to introduce these type of laws, because they know that people's psyche, people's minds are able to accept that now. But if you to do this, if you to try to do this like 200 years ago, people would have been like, you must be crazy. You're not doing that. So it takes time to socially engineer people to accept the type of stuff that they are now introducing, like the sexualization of kids in schools. You know, it takes time for people for that to happen. If you get my drift.
Just a quick point. Just sorry,
Yeah.
sorry to miss. Completely off the point here. But do you guys think that you see what's happening with those 3 soldiers that were killed? Yeah, the 3 soldiers that were killed.
I just had a bet with someone online. Apparently, I've lost a bet.
What's it about?
The 3 soldiers shot in.
They're all black. You know that, yeah?
Oh, in the middle, they're all black.
Yeah.
Which 3 soldiers? Which 3 soldiers, man?
So you need to keep up with politics, bro.
Yeah, but that's one of the big things I always keep an eye on, because World War III is coming. I want to map it out. I want to see the stages before. So basically, Nelson, there was 3 American soldiers that were attacked in Jordan. They sent a drone strike, and the so-called Iran-backed group literally have killed 3 American soldiers, and they were all black. And now America is literally is basically preparing to do some type of. They haven't mentioned what they're going to do yet, but they're right now, as we speak, planning some retaliatory attack, which will probably attack Iran. When that happens, as we know, Iran is a Russian-backed state.
Yeah, that's right.
This is gonna escalate, guys. I'm telling you right now, this is gonna escalate.
Hold on. I'm just looking at what you're talking about there, John Michelle.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
So I just want to clarify before I forget. One, I said I had a bet. It's not an actual bet. It's just a figure of speech. I don't want anybody thinking I'm betting over it.
Right.
So that's one. 2.
What's the bet?
It's just some person online said, I bet you they invade. I said, I bet you they won't. I bet you they'll respond. I bet you they won't. But anyway, so Sky News has reported that Joe Biden will authorize U.S. military action in the Middle East.
See?
That's the official, yeah. But he hasn't specified what. But
That's it, Nelson.
Okay, so the U.S. government has released the names of 3 troops killed by an enemy drone attack in Jordan on Sunday. The U.S. has blamed Iranian-backed groups for the attack, and the Pentagon said it carried the footprints of Hezbollah. The Pentagon also reiterated the U.S. does not want a war with Iran. Oh my days, we don't seek war, but we will take action and respond to attacks on our forces, said Pentagon spokesperson Sabrina Singh.
It's not going to be nothing major.
There will be
2 bets in 1 year.
But what when they attack, what do you think those Iran-backed militants will do? They're not going to say, okay, you got one, I got one. They're going to say, okay, this is our turn back, but now we need to pay back again.
They may do nothing,
and it's going to escalate. It's going to escalate. And I'm telling you.
But you said it yourself. You said it yourself. Russia supports Iran.
Yes, it's not be very careful.
It's not a case of they support Iran blindly. It's a case of it's not. Yeah, so they have them on a leash.
It's like Iran is like America's Israel. It's like
pretty much.
The same way Israel is like a military base for the West.
Yes.
Iran is basically the equivalent for Russia.
Base. Yes.
And Syria as well, by the way.
And Syria, yes.
Oh my! I want to follow this story and see what happens.
I think Iran will.
But there's been conspiracy theories already, guys. There's been some great conspiracy theories because Biden is very. So the Democrat Party are actually potentially going to lose this election coming up because they're failing with the black vote. Have you heard that?
Oh, they're failing with the black vote. Oh,
the black people are.
going more
Well,
conservative now.
because there's a few reasons why. Because of Biden, because of the mass illegal immigration that's happened. The mass illegal immigration has impacted black communities the worst. Because
Yes,
obviously they shuttle them into these communities and give them all types of resources. And these communities are like, hold on a minute, you got all this, suddenly you got all this money for these people, but we've been here struggling and asking for resources, and you can't give it to us, but you give it to. So this is becoming a huge issue in America. There's actually black people protesting as we speak about it, literally protesting, saying, we don't want immigrants bust here because you guys are literally putting them up in hotels, you're giving them money, you're giving them this, that, and the other, where our school looks like crap and our housing still looks. So this is a big issue. They're blaming the Democrats.
They voted for them.
There you go. So this is a big issue for the Democrats, and they're losing the black vote rapidly. So people are suggesting that these three guys are made up guys, and when the US attack, it'd be like, look, see, we got your back. We killed a few of them for you. Look.
Bro, I believe. Look, every time I look at, we're gonna end it now, but every time I look at everything, and what's currently happening around the world, what I'm noticing, and this is, I'm gonna do a reaction to what's going on in Saudi Arabia. So, alcohol being allowed in Saudi Arabia. I'm gonna do a reaction to that. But what I'm basically
Saudi involved in that?
Sorry.
Is Saudi going to be Hassan? You up for that?
That Hassan that doesn't want to think. Even though my angle is going to be, I don't know.
I don't see the benefit of it. Why would it concern the greater community? Because his argument is secularism is spreading and it's taking hold of the last Muslim stronghold.
No. My argument is the agenda is secularization. What's happened to the Western world is what they want to happen to the rest of the world, and for that, the rest of the world needs to be secularized.
No, so you do know they've been selling alcohol in Saudi Arabia for about 100 years, yeah.
Selling
bars
alcohol.
Yes, bro. There's bars in Saudi Arabia that's been there for years.
Yeah.
Years.
Yeah.
Selling alcohol.
It's not so black and white, and a lot of this is tied to Mohammed bin Salman.
Okay, so
his
guys,
reforms.
Tell me, what is this story about then? The last 70 years, it says for some reason
officially, it was never officially permissible to sell
Right.
alcohol. The general perspective is what you do in your home is what you do in your home, and that's under selling alcohol. Like being an atheist is not a crime if you do it privately, but doing it publicly is something else. Promoting disbelief and such things. So there's a cultural norm and there's a state norm. So what you do in your home is one thing, what you do in public is another thing, and that's pretty much the trend of the society. Now that he's made it official that you can in diplomatic circumstances. So you're hosting a diplomat, and because he's essentially pimping out Saudi Arabia because he wants to shift its oil dependence to a more touristy, open. He wants to make Saudi Arabia not the new Las Vegas, but more the new America or the new Indonesia, whatever it is.
Okay. What I'm basically seeing, guys, is this is becoming the norm. Like, for example, even what's happened with the Catholic Church and so on and so forth. This process of secularization is being spread all over the world. It's being pushed all over the world. Even homosexual agendas being pushed in African countries by American politicians. We've seen that as well. So what I believe is happening, if I was to put my conspiracy hat on, what I believe is happening is they want to secularize the entire world to basically mirror or reflect what's going on, what the West has accepted. So the same degeneracy that they have here in the West, they want to spread that all over the world.
I remember watching in 2006, maybe 2006, and did on the BBC. This is BBC 24. I was up really late for some reason. and I was watching a journalist talk about transgender bathrooms in the Far East and how it's common for school kids to identify as one gender over the other. That's why the schools are incorporating transgender bathrooms. I think this is, I don't want to slander any particular nation, but it's in the Far East. I remember it's one of those countries. I don't want to say which one because I don't want anybody listening in to say that I'm misrepresenting their culture, but it's one of the Far East countries. And then 10, 15 years later, you see now it's shifting into the West, transgender bathrooms and kids accepting gender fluidity, right? I think you're seeing it from a Eurocentric perspective. I think the moral decay is a part of the global fabric, the human fabric. For example, you give the example of alcohol being now available officially to diplomats and other hosting of other people from the state, right? There's no mention of the assassinations and the murders of migrants, right? And there's no articles that you may pull up or you may have noticed or others may have noticed of how migrant workers are treated in Saudi Arabia and how they've always been mistreated and dehumanized and mass murder. There's no mention of mass deportation back in, I think, 2012 or 13 of Ethiopian migrants in the tens of thousands. It could be that you may have a bias in seeing the West imposing immorality, but there's immorality all over the world, and there always has been. It's just one seems to trigger people more than the other.
Nah, it's definitely not a bias.
What's from an Islamic perspective? What's worse, serving alcohol or killing migrants?
Killing migrants is something that goes on all the time.
Well, Islamically, what's worse?
Islam. I'm not a Muslim. I would say
I'll
alcohol.
tell you.
I'll say alcohol would be.
No. The murder of people is far worse. The unjust murder of people is far worse than alcohol.
Okay, I don't. What I'm basically saying is when
Where's JM gone? JM's left.
No, James still. Oh yeah. The device is not connected, so he'll come up. We'll finish. We'll finish up now anyway.
Okay, cool.
Jam, you still there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Yeah, I was.
Just go ahead.
Yeah. Nah, that's just to finish up. Just to quickly answer, Hassan, because we can be here forever on this particular topic. But not, bro. It's not that I necessarily have a bias. I think we all do have a bias. But I'm just noticing certain things being legalized and accepted, and I'm thinking it's reflecting. The world is reflecting what the West believes and promotes, and I mean, this is my idea. This is just something that I'm working out in my own head. But I do think that the agenda is to secularize the world, is to get the world to accept all the degeneracies that the West has accepted. What you made a comparison between killing people and, bro, people. I don't think that's a big deal. People die all the time, bro. Anyways,
people drink all the time. Fair enough.
A quick side note: Myron also agrees with Saudi Arabia that women shouldn't be able to drive.
They've changed that, man. They've changed that now.
Well, Myron, there's a video. Hassan, you could research that. There's a video of Myron. Put a video. Find Myron talking about Saudi Arabia women drivers. He actually said that he agrees with it.
Women shouldn't drive.
Yeah, put Myron. Saudi women shouldn't drive.
Women
Just put that into search.
I was gonna say women shouldn't drive. What is that on Google? Yeah.
You put it on YouTube.
On you? Sorry. Oh, my bad. YouTube. Sorry. Women shouldn't drive, Myron. So he said that, man. Let's see. Can't see it.
We can find it. Please pull the name up.
Why women shouldn't drive? Is it why women shouldn't drive?
We find it.
I don't want guys.
No. We saw that one.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna tell you what to search for.
Hassan, you see in the end that I'm right. Don't worry about that. Trust me.
Unfortunately, you won't see where I'm right and you're wrong. But that's the problem. I see exactly where you're coming from. You don't see. You don't see beyond it.
Huh?
It's just you don't see beyond it.
You'll see as time goes on. Clubs, now alcohol, what's going on with the Catholic Church. Yeah. When I look at Israel, that's a secular country. I look at what they promote. I look at the ideas that they promote. I look at what they're trying to push, get African countries to accept. Yeah. Yeah, I can't find. Did you find it, bro?
I was looking for it.
I can't find it. No, I can't find it. I have to stop finding it. It came up on my thing one time.
Yeah. No worries, guys. Listen, we're gonna end it there. Salute. Another great episode. And yeah, my bros. I'll see
All right,
you.
bro. Take care, man. Catch up with you
Take care,
guys soon.
brother. Peace.
Cool. Nice one.